All right, all right. Positive energy all the time. Getting an early start. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Reparations now. Boy, it's a lot going on. But let's do first things first. Rep your city. Run those likes up. Share, subscribe. Hit the notification bell. All that. So here we go. Of course, I'm representing Chicago, Illinois. We have Buffalo, New York in the building. XYZ always holding it down strong. We have Fresno, California in the building. We have New Orleans, Louisiana in the building. Always competing with Chicago with the best food. If you want some good food, go to New Orleans. That's what everybody tells me. I can't wait to come check it out. Everybody on Facebook, you know what it is. It's the Rack. Everybody on Kick, you know it's the Windy City. Everybody over there on Twitch, you know it's the Chi-Town. And everybody on YouTube, you know it is Chicago, Illinois. We got Wichita, Kansas in the building. We got a bunch of strong brothers coming over from the UK all the time, holding the UK down strong. Brother Elijah Farrakhan with one of the best names in history is over here representing England. Shout out to all my brothers and sisters overseas and to all my brothers and sisters around the world. I'm never really beefing with other black people. We're going to talk about that. We got North Carolina in the building. We got Boston in the building. And, you know, I'm never beefing with other black people. Tonight, we have Texarkana. So that's like Texas and Arkansas, right? We got Dallas, Texas in the building. I got a lot of good friends from Texas. We got South Carolina, Florence in the building. We got Florence in the building. We got the whole United States in the building. Everybody holding down your city. Always rep your city. Always stand firm on your city. Okay, that's how we do. We protect the family and the community. Then we rep the city. Then we rep the state. Then we rep the country. Then we rep international. That's how we do. Okay, always. Never put nothing before your community. You don't put Pan-Africanism before your community where you live at. Where your community, where you live at is first and foremost, right? Your household, your community is first. Then your city is second, okay? Always. Then your state is third. Then the country you live in is fourth. Then international. You don't put, if those of you that Pan-Africans, you don't put Africa in front of your neighborhood in your city where you live at. Okay? Never. I would never put Africa before Chicago. I live in Chicago. I must have things done right in Chicago. I have to worry about taxes in Chicago. I have to worry about tornadoes coming to Chicago. I have to worry about floods in Chicago. I have to worry about violence in Chicago. I have to worry about economics in Chicago. I have to worry about getting food in Chicago. I cannot worry about Ethiopia, Africa. We're going to be talking about that. I got some brethren, some good brethren, the elder brethren I respect a lot, and a good brethren in Jamaica, and they mentioned Foundation of Black Americans. I got the elder brother. I got to get the other brother because I'm trying to figure out how are they talking about Foundation of Black Americans? How are these rosters talk about Foundation of Black Americans without the king of the rosters and the Foundation of Black American rosters? How you going to have a conversation without the boss man that represent, how some Jamaican brethren gonna talk about FBA and don't let the official FBA roster, you know what I'm saying? So I gotta invite them on my channel one at a time and do a little straightening. I'm gonna do that tonight. I got an elder brethren that I respect a lot. I gotta straighten him out. I gotta straighten out an elder brethren that's really positive, that's always thinking the best for black people, and I gotta correct them. See what your boy gonna do? He much older than I am. I gotta check him in a politest way. I swear to God. But anyway, that's going down tonight. FBA, Africa, Rasta, and the diaspora. Because they mention FBA, they don't know what FBA is. They don't understand. A lot of people claiming FBA don't even know what FBA is. We got a lot of babies. We got a lot of young people. They feel strong like, yeah, FBA, but they don't really know what it is. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people that's posting FBA, they riding, but they don't know the concept thoroughly like that. They clicking up, which is good. We glad they clicking up, right? And now we got to teach them what they clicking up on. Because they want to ride out on all the other blacks, right? Y'all know. And then that's another thing. If you black, and then you see black people like grouping up, want to ride out on the other blacks, we want to stop that. But we can't be surprised. We black. That's what black people do. That's what we do. We ride out for the team, you know what I'm saying? Africans gonna ride out, you know what I'm saying, for Africans. Duh. So now, we gotta just get a little straightened. You should be surprised, But that's what's going on tonight. That's gonna be fire. I'm gonna come with a little straightening. We're gonna straighten this out. I gotta let them know y'all stop. If y'all want to talk about Black Americans, y'all gonna have to get Black Americans in the discussion. All this with these Jamaican rosters speaking on Black Americans and Africans too, without us in the discussion, that's not gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it's two or three of y'all. Now, if you just on your channel by yourself, then cool. Like me, I'm by myself. But it would be bogus for me to be over here and have a panel and be talking about Africans and don't got no African in the panel. I think that would be bogus. To me, if I had somebody here on the live with me, another Black American talking about Africans or brothers in the Caribbean without nobody from Africa over here or nobody from the Caribbean, I think that's bogus. I think that's because now you're not getting a real, overstanding. You're not allowing the other group to explain where it's coming from. You got to get somebody with a level head too, not another person that's in the tribal war. You know what I'm saying? I ain't into the tribal war, so I got a level head. As I got some brethren, they don't know nothing. I had a brother come and say, how you a Kemetic roster and FBA? And I'm like, how you slow as a turtle riding on a snail? What you mean how I'm that? You don't know what FBA is. Little boy. You know what I'm saying? He come over here all emotional. That sounds stupid to me. I said, that's because you got stupid ears. That's why it sounds stupid. Because you got stupid ears. Because some people don't believe that because they believe, I don't know what they think FBA is. I don't think, everybody that say FBA don't know what it is. But tonight's going to be fire. It's going to be fire. I got to straighten out an elder that I look up to. He ain't, I'm going to do it in a polite way, but he got to learn. They speaking on something, they don't even know what it is. Then I got to go and get the brother in Jamaica and get on his channel and straighten him out. Let's let some more people come in here. And we're going to get that straight. We're going to get that straight. Because the Jamaican Rastas, they need to worry about the Chinese running Jamaica. That's what they need to focus on. They need to focus on growing Rasta in Jamaica. Rasta's weak in Jamaica right now. So I don't understand why they focusing on us, why they talking about FBA with all the issues as weak as Rasta is in Jamaica. You understand? I'm confused. And then, Africa, there's no such place as Africa. Africa is a place, but there's no such thing as Africa as far as Africa. Them people ain't Africans. They whatever country they live in or whatever tribe they are. So that's what we'll be talking about tonight. The Rasta's got to update the philosophy. The philosophy was great back in the day. But the philosophy now has got to be updated. We ain't trying to go to Africa, okay? Africa ain't got his shit together. And so to keep preaching to go to Africa with a divided Africa, with a bunch of foreign people controlling the whole top of Africa, what we doing? That's it. What we doing? So anyway, I want to say salute to my brother Tariq Nasheed. He's doing an excellent job standing on business and pushing FBA. They're doing some beefing with the Africans and stuff, but they might got to. So I don't know. It's something I don't do, but it ain't nothing I can't say don't need to be done. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I don't criticize that too much. It's a little strange, but when you get into knowledge and you get into leadership and you look at another leader, you give another leader credit because they got an angle that you don't got. So that's why I'm not vocal against Tariq Nasheed and them going at the Africans sometimes, because I would have to talk to him for him to break it down. I would have to let him break it down. I can't take for granted that he don't know what he's doing. It's a reason. I know it's a reason. I know it's a reason for it. So I would have to talk to him. Which I need to contact him and say, hey, I need to come over on your show. I need to talk to you, or I need to have you come over so I can ask some serious questions. I should get him over here. It'll be crazy if I get him and me. Yeah, they might ban that one. They gonna ban me and Tyreek. That one to go sideways. That'd be good though. Talking to him would be crazy as hell. Trust me, what I'm telling you. Oh my God. But salute to him. He's doing a good job because FBA is powerful. FBA is powerful and he deserves most of the credit because guess what? FBA done shut down Target, done shut them down like a Public Enemy song. Shut them down. Shut them down. Sure did. And I ain't gonna lie, I didn't help. I didn't help. That ain't that. You know what I'm saying? I always keep it real. I didn't help. Because I did so many boycotts and black people didn't take it serious, right? Boycott the NFL. Everybody went back and started watching football. And I'd get to the point where I'm, like boycott the African salons. I haven't heard nothing about that no more. Sisters is probably still going to get their hair braided. See what I'm saying? You understand? What's going on with our reparations? Forget Target. Amari, we can walk and chew gum at the same time, right? Right? You only can do one thing at a time? So that's what you want us to do? We can walk and chew gum at the same time. If Target gonna disrespect us and fire black people, you saying forget that. So you saying we shouldn't stand on the fact that your auntie and all them might have got sent home, they got hired because they got rid of DEI. That's what you saying? You cool with that? You cool with them firing all them black people and kicking all them black products out of Target? Is that what you saying? That's not important? That's what you saying? Or are you saying you're not knowledgeable of what's going on, so you just talking crazy? Because I don't even think you know what's going on. I think you just typing. Yeah, all the black business partners. You know what I'm saying? That lost money. Yeah. See, he ain't, you know what I'm saying? He don't know what's going on. People be jumping in the comments, don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? Just say anything just to go against what I'm doing. That's all that is, hater. You know what I'm saying? Instead of him just logging off, he just a slick way to say, bro, you ain't talk about nothing. You know what I'm saying? In the city, on the side note, see in the city, this how stuff be popping off. Cause like he'll say that in the city in a different circumstance, and we're gonna take it just what he's saying. So brother gonna be like, what you saying? What you trying to say? See what I'm saying? So that's that slick stuff. You understand? It ain't about him saying forget Target. It's about him saying forget what I'm talking about. You understand what I'm saying? That's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? But that's how dudes be getting disrespected in the hood. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like face to face, he'd be like, forget that. I'd be like, forget what? Forget you. You know what I'm saying? And it should go sideways on the streets. See what I'm saying? And he got to get the foo fops on him. You know what I'm saying? It goes sideways. He on the internet. But he know in the hood he can't be interrupting no brother saying they ain't talking about nothing. He know what happened to him. You know what I'm saying? If the conversation ain't no good, log off like a G. Just log off like a gangster. But in case he do need to learn, right? Our good sister Tabitha Brown, her products was removed. Okay. Her products was removed. Her popcorn and her stuff that she was selling, they considered her DEI, right? And her stuff was removed. You see what I'm saying? We had black people, black businesses doing business in Target to feed our families for economical development. All right? So he's slow because reparations, if she get her reparations, it's going to do what? It's going to further fund what? Her business. Her business is where? In Target, in other stores. So bruh try to talk about reparations was an economical conversation, while at the meantime, not intelligent enough to understand the economical conversation. You understand? You understand? He trying to compare economical situation, said, forget that economical situation and talk about this economical situation. See what I'm saying? A hater. And a lot of times when you a hater, you don't be thinking. So he come with some negativity when this is all related. This is related to reparations. What's he talking about? Everything economical is related to reparations. You understand? What's his name? He want to be famous. Omari Hudson. You understand? He wants to step up the conversation. Then when I step up the conversation and say, you still got a slave name, since we upgrading the conversation, why don't you go get a strong black name? Then I'd be bogus because you were Hudson. You still named after the slave owner, the Hudsons that owned y'all. You know what I'm saying? Why don't you work on that? You know what I'm saying? Like I did what? If we upgrade, you know what I'm saying? If we upgrade the conversation, upgrade your title and don't give your children no slave name. Be like big Pharaoh El-Aton. Right. So that's what we're talking about. The CEO of Target stepped down, had to take that L. You feel me? Target CEO Brian Cornell is stepping down after 11 years amid struggles at one of America's most prominent retail chains. Cornell helped engineer a turnaround at Target, but it's been rocky. Few years for retailers. Incoming Target CEO Michael Fidelco, a veteran leader at the company, will have a tough task ahead as he faces tumbling sales, tariff pressures, and consumer slowdown. But Target has been in deep slumps for years, mostly due to its own strategic mishaps. The company has quickly fallen behind rivals like Walmart, Amazon, and Costco. Okay? They naming all this stuff, but the bottom line is they're not going to name the fact that black people stopped spending money with them. Okay? Black people stopped spending money with them and they lost money. Okay? And so when you see what CNN said, you see, right, that they CNN didn't want to say it was us. CNN still didn't want to say black people did it. You understand? Target CEO stepping down after 11 years as sales continue to decline amid DEI cuts backlash. Okay? DEI cuts backlash. Adding to the challenges, Target has faced consumer pushback this year after scaling back its diversity, equity, and inclusion program. The move drew criticism from multiple quarters, including Ann and Lucy Dayton, daughters of one of Target's original co-founders, who called the decision a betrayal. So the daughters of one of the original founders of Target said that when they cut the DEI, they betrayed the Target brand. You see? You see how it go? See, one thing they never want to tell people. Okay? They never want to tell people our spending power because they don't want us to know. So they don't boast it. They don't want to talk about our true $2 trillion spending power. They try to act like that $2 trillion ain't serious money. They don't want nobody to know how much Black Americans make in this country, how many great jobs they got. They don't want nobody to know that how many other Blacks that aren't foundational Black Americans follow us. And there's a lot of brothers and sisters from Africa and the Caribbean, when they find out Black Americans ain't messing with you, they ain't messing with you either. There's a lot of Black women that's got husbands from the Caribbean and husbands from Africa. And when wifey say, we ain't going to Target, they ain't going to Target. Okay? There's a lot of Caribbean women that got Black American husbands. And when husbands say, we ain't going to Target, they ain't going to Target. We have children that people don't talk about that are immigrant and Black Americans. There's a lot of Black immigrants that got children by Black American spouses. Their children is both. We got a lot of Black immigrants that ain't really got no out date on going back home. Because compared to how good they doing and with their family, they can't uproot and go back. So if a brother come here and he marry a Black American woman and he get all his education and everything, and he get a house and he have a family, he has no plans of going back to Africa. Because that's not going to transition with his family. You understand? These are facts. So they losing all that money. All right? Nobody want to talk about this because nobody be fair and right down the middle. And, you know, brothers are get in a beef with some Africans and just say all the Africans, or get in beef with some Black Americans and just say all the Black Americans. And we know that. Come on, y'all got to stop generalizing like that. In some cases, you can generalize. You can say Black Americans need to get it together. Okay, you can say that because those that's got it together, we still got to get the other ones together. Or you can say Africans got to get it together. You can say that because the Africans that got it together ain't enough, right? So we can accept that generalization. I can accept the generalization, Black Americans got to get it together. That's a great generalization. That includes those of us, because those of us that we don't never have it together as a group, and some of us trying to get it to get us together. But me trying to get us together is not together. We don't have it together. So I can't get mad if somebody say Black Americans need to get it together. I can't be mad in a city where Blackstone or GD or BD or Viceroy might unalive me. Okay. Yeah, just keep it real. I'm around here where FBA or Doobie Dirt. I'm living in a city where FBA don't even know they FBA. They GD, BD, Viceroy. Where I live at, I got to teach them they FBA. They don't know they FBA. They GD on Larry. They BD on King David. They Blackstone. on Prince Malik. You understand? So, yeah, we got to all get it together. Black people globally got to get it together. That's a decent statement. Because white people ain't got it together. Nobody got it together. Who got it together? Nobody. That's a whole other story. White folks sure ain't got it together. Unless I what I'm missing. I don't think nobody got it together. There's improvements need to be done all around the board. But the boycott and the spending power is great. You are 100% correct. And we done made dude had to quit. So now that he quit, they're going to bring in somebody else. But FBA is finna let everybody know he quit. So we not finna shop with the new dude for sure. We're not finna shop with you. Costco say, we love y'all, and went and got all the money. Costco said, no, we're not doing that. We don't want to be white. We want to make money. Costco did not go. Costco said, well, y'all can come over here. We love y'all. And they paid all the money. They sales finna be through the roof. And you're going to see new Costco's popping up. They're going to buy some of them Target buildings. Watch Targets turn to Costco's. It's a dirty game out here. They're going to buy your old building when you go out of business. Because we are tired of people taking our money and not respecting us. That's our beef with the Africans, that they coming over based on our money and our success. They're using their black skin to come in and get money on our success. And then they don't want to give us no credit. That's all we want is the credit for you being able to do that. You won't even do that. You try to act like you did that on your own. But without Rosa Parks and all that, you know what I'm saying, you wouldn't have been able to come over here. It seemed to me if I was a black African, I would really hold the black American history of the 60s at an all-time high. To me, that would be one of the greatest things ever happened to me. If I came over here from Africa or Jamaica, to me, one of the greatest things ever happened and had a good life, I would have to give all that credit to the struggle of the 60s. I don't see how I wouldn't be able to give all the praise to them. To Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and Medgar Evers and them. There's no way there's no way they wouldn't be my greatest people ever. I would figure they made this possible for me. To me, that's what I would think. If I came here from the Caribbean or Africa, you know what I'm saying? I was like, man, without them, man, I would have just been a black dude. You know what I'm saying? I would have been a black dude. The police would have sick dogs on me too. You know what I'm saying? I would have been like, I don't know. They sick dogs and stuff on black people. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand that. That's like me going to South Africa and going to the beach. You know what I'm saying? And then not giving no respect to Mandela, none of that, the ANC. I couldn't see how I could do that. I can't see how I could go on the beach in South Africa and not really look at the South Africans and say, man, y'all did a good job, man. Y'all was standing on business, man. I love y'all. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe people don't know history. Maybe that's what it is. They don't know what the other group be going through, I guess. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. But I know I wouldn't go no Africa disrespecting no Africans. That sounds crazy. I would never go no Africa and be on the internet disrespecting Africans or be on live in Africa talking about Africans in a bad way. I be seeing these immigrants on live in America talking crazy about black Americans, and I be like, what? Where they do that at? And so if I was an African and I was over here now, I would really have a lot of respect for this era of what these people went through. You know what I'm saying? How you come here and you black and you don't know what these people that look just like you went through, and you don't take that to your heart, and you walk these streets with new cars on here, not this car in this picture. You didn't come when we was driving these kind of cars when it was smoke. You came after they put their lives on the line. And then you popped up with no respect, talking crazy. They should learn it if you come somewhere, if you black, you know what I'm saying? If you, it's no excuse. If you black and you move somewhere where other people is black, them is your brothers and sisters, and you should learn about them. Like, let's say I believe that I'm a black man and my people always been in America, right? That my people was Native American. Still, if I meet another person, whether they from Brazil or Africa or wherever, that got this skin tone, to me, that's going to be my brothers and my sisters. Just like we say a brother from another mother, we would say a brother from another motherland, another land. But it ain't no way you wouldn't be, you know what I'm saying? Especially if I live in a world where people with a white skin hate me. So now here's another person with skin like mine because they only hate you based on your skin color. If I'm white, a lot of white people won't hate me. So they only hate me because they see my skin color. That's it. So it's all based on skin color. So now when you see another person with the same skin color, how you going to beef with somebody from another skin color? That's what I don't understand about black immigrants. Black immigrants that come to the United States that don't get along with foundational black Americans have to be some of the dumbest people in the whole world. They coming into an area where the Ku Klux Klan and the Nazis would unalive them. And they got enemies they don't even know they got. Then the people that look like them, they don't like them either. So they just a monkey in the middle. And they let white America know they don't like us. And so Trump like, yeah, get all the Haitians and all the black immigrants out of there. The black Americans, they go stand up for them. They don't even like the black Americans. See what I'm saying? It ain't going to be a black immigrant nowhere. If Trump do 4 years, a lot of Africans, they're going to be kicked out the country. The educated ones, the ones with all of them, they're going to put them out. They're going to put them out. Which is that's what, you see what I'm saying? Because they let the European know that they don't like their brothers and sisters, that they was different. That was the dumbest strategy ever. Seriously. You can't get more dumber than that. Yeah. Imagine me going to Africa and letting the people that's pushing apartheid know I don't like the Africans. You know what I'm saying? And I got this white apartheid dude. And I let him know I ain't with them. I don't like them. I'm here by myself. And so he like, Well, it's a lot of them, but it's only a few of you black Americans, and they don't like you. Let's throw these black Americans out. The Africans don't care because they done already told the Africans they don't like them. What the hell? Black immigrants, I don't know. You could tell the struggle, they're not close to the struggle. You know what I'm saying? You know, their struggles was way back. You know what I mean? Their struggles was farther away from them than our struggles. You know, a lot of us, we synced it when we was children, right? And then our struggles, in Africa, a lot of their struggles dissipated and it turned to black on black tribal stuff. But here in America, our struggles kind of stayed. You know, we still seen to Rodney King, right? And we still seen to George Floyd. So we don't have a separation from the 60s like that. You know what I'm saying? See, the Africans got a separation from the 40s and the 50s. They stuff was in the 40s and the 50s. None of them know about that. And then there was a clean cut. And then they used black African leaders to mistreat black Africans. So they don't know about the race because they control them from Europe. So they don't see the race. They pay their own black people to do something to them. So they get tribalistic. So when they come here, they bring that black tribalism here against us. See, Africans are tribalistic because whites send certain tribes or groups against the blacks. So the blacks' war is over there is always against the blacks because the whites control them like puppets from a distance. But over here, we watch that man unalive George Floyd. We watched the ambulance come and they get out and they touched his neck and they went and took their time to get the stuff out the ambulance and left that man knee on his neck until they checked to see if he was dead yet. And when they seen he wasn't dead yet, they took their time. They should have went to prison too. Go back and look at the footage. The ambulance came. The white men got the ambulance and checked. They checked his blood pressure while the man's knee was still on his neck. Medical people would have made him get his knee off. Not them. Then they took their time. And then they came back when he was now no longer living and made him get up. And see, so for us, we still there. Africans ain't there. And then they come over in the middle of all this we going through, and then they distance. You know what I'm saying? You understand? Because it's not, I can't say it's not just that, G-Ra. It's the fact they didn't get to see it. I'm being fair with the black immigrants. They can't feel something they never seen. Black immigrants don't have problems with whites. They have problems with blacks. Jamaicans have problems with black police. Africans have problems with black police and black governments. So I can't blame the brothers and sisters. There's no way they can see something that they never seen. Their issues is always with blacks. Okay? The Caribbean and Africa, the black people's issues have always been with other blacks. So when they come over here, their issues is with other blacks. Our issues have never been with blacks. That's why the Africans and the Caribbean people look so weird to us, because our issue has always been with whites. That's who our issues have been with. They're not controlling us from Europe. They're controlling us straight from police cars, straight from the city hall, straight from Trump, straight from the White House, right here. Trump sending white men right here into Washington, D.C. dressed in military. That's the war. We in the direct war with them. You understand? Ain't they colonized by whites? From a distance, Tony. Their colonized whites pay blacks to keep them in order, Tony. You understand, Tony? Their colonized, their presidents are paid to keep them colonized. In other words, whites took Africa from them a long time ago and then put blacks in power, Tony, to keep them in line. So they grew up with blacks that work for France, that work for England. They not directly there from England. That the blacks is doing all of the enslavement for Europe and China. They don't have direct. If you go look at some pictures, you ain't gonna see no white police in Kenya. You don't see no white police in Ghana. You see black police oppressing them in Kenya, in Ghana, in these places. The whites pay the blacks from a distance, but we directly warned with the white government. The Africans don't know nothing about that. They ain't experienced that. Their ancestors that experienced that was way back in the 20s and the 30s. They all passed away. So this group of Africans, they don't know nothing about that. They don't know nothing about that. The Jamaicans either. They don't know. We are nothing like the other blacks. We have nothing in common mentally. We are the number one black revolutionaries in the world. Period. We're the dominant ones. That's a fact. So no, they don't want us in Africa. They don't want me in Africa. I'm in Africa telling Africans, y'all up here doing what, and you're the British control it. And I'm telling the brothers, you're doing what your British daddy tell you to do. I'm beefing with the British dudes. Do the Africans. I'm telling the Africans, you're a puppet for the British. I ain't gonna be directly mad at the police in Africa. I'm gonna be calling them coons and sellouts that you work for Europe. The Africans ain't dealing with them like that. The Africans dealing like you the enemy. I'm like, no, you working for the enemy. You understand? The oppressors in Africa are working for the enemies. The oppressors here are the enemy. We don't tolerate that. This is why they trying to put Hispanics in all the police departments like Chicago. If you see somebody in the neighborhood now, you're going to see a bunch of Hispanic police in the neighborhood trying to play funny with us. Because they had to try to get rid of so many black police, because when the black police come to the hood, they ain't going to treat us funny like that. So now they trying to put these Hispanics on the police department to come to the hood to play with us. But this Chicago, so that ain't going to go well for them Hispanic police, because we don't care nothing about no uniform. You a man and I'm a man. We don't care nothing about that. We'll make it where nobody want that job. You know what I'm saying? And nobody want that job no more. You know what I'm saying? And nobody want that job no more. This direct. You go too far. You know, we go too far. You know, this is a city where I stay out the way, but this is a city where if I came outside and made some noise, the shorties would respond. Let me put it like that. This is a city where if I hold a rally and I have Fred Hampton Jr. and the unity movement and all them, and I get on the thing and say, woo wop the bam, woo wop the skippy, it'll really pop off. That's a fact. It'll pop all the way up. That's why I have to stay out of the way. I'm a little bit too powerful, so I have to stay out the way. You understand? I have to stay out the way. If the time ain't right, I can't get into little petty scrimmages. It really have to be, you know what I'm saying? Now, if they mess around and try to bring military in here and try to play, well, all my family here is in danger and stuff, and they try to play like that. Well, I got a grandson and all this. Then, it's going to get ugly. Because we don't believe none of that. We don't believe that. We don't believe the uniform and none of that. You just a motherfucker in a costume. To me, I don't care about you putting on no army man clothes. You know what I'm saying? You try to look like an army man. Your heart pump Kool-Aid though. Because one thing about them fake army men, they only tough as long as they the aggressors. And once it's pushback, that's when we see that your heart pump Kool-Aid. You know what I'm saying? This ain't Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is full of Ethiopians. A lot too many black immigrants that took over Washington, D.C. Yeah, it's a bunch of big Ethiopian community there, and like that. The foundation of Black Americans, they didn't let them other blacks come in, and they not really built to go against these Europeans. They like fish out of water. I feel sorry for the black immigrants with this Republican Party. They're going to do them dirty. But Trump going to tell them, leave the black Americans alone. We'll lose too much money, too much stuff will get burnt down, too much stuff will get tore out. It'll be too many casualties. He's sure going to tell them, we can't afford the casualties, These is Vietnam vets. These is Desert Storm. They've been to Desert Storm. They military, They Americans. They just black. You know what I'm saying? That's Maryland. It says 30 to 35,000 of them there. Oh, somebody lying. The exact number of Ethiopians in Washington, D.C. area is a subject of varying estimates, but it is widely acknowledged to be the largest concentration of Ethiopian people outside of Africa. While some sources earlier census data report figures around 30 to 35,000 for the Ethiopian-born population, more recent estimates from community leaders and organizers are much higher, with numbers cited at 250,000 or 350,000 to 1 million in the greater DC metropolitan area. So, am I wrong? Just say I'm right. So I don't know. Just say you wrong, Moses. According to that, it's a million of them there. According to all my people that go there, it's a million of them there. According to people I know that visit Washington, D.C., it's a million of them there. People have told me they got Ethiopian writing all in the trains and stuff. Is that incorrect too? As people have told me, when you want to catch train stuff, like here how they have Spanish. I heard in Washington D.C. they got Ethiopian writing at a lot of the public transportation. That's wrong too. Let me know. That's what I heard. I heard. Do they have Ethiopian writing on the trains and in public in D.C.? That's what I heard, Moses. That's what I heard. Now you there. I'm expecting you to tell me if that's true or not. Do they have Ethiopian writing in Washington, D.C. in public for you to read it if you're from Ethiopia? That's a simple yes or no. I don't know. I thought Big Pharaoh on top of everything. I know how. I know where all y'all live at and what's going on. Believe that. I'm the king. I'm one of the kings of Black Americans, but quiet as it kept. Let me see if I really know what I'm doing. Maybe I got to update my info in the royal logs. I got to go to the accounts, response. I didn't ask you that. Do they have Ethiopian writing? Oh, okay. Here we go. That was a simple yes or no. Let me see. I don't know. Hold on. Let me see. That's what I heard, though. Okay, they got a little Ethiopia in L.A. So where is the Shaw neighborhoods on 9th Street, 9th and U Streets? Because they saying that's little Ethiopia. So I don't know. I don't know what to believe. I don't know what to believe. I don't know what to believe. But what I was told is that the Ethiopians is thick in D.C. So I'm going to do my investigation and I'll let y'all know. I'll do my investigation. But as of now, I'm going to stick with what I was told. Because from what I understand, the Ethiopians is thick up there. You know what I'm saying? That's uptown. Okay, uptown Washington, D.C. See, here we go playing. Because first you said, no, you said it was in a whole nother city. You said it was in Virginia. Virginia, or you said Silver Springs, and you said Maryland. Is Uptown in Maryland? Uptown is Maryland? You confusing me. I understand now. Well, that's not what I heard. I heard they up there thick. That's what I heard. From people that been there a lot. They up there thick. Just like the Hispanics took over L.A. And his brothers in L.A. ain't gonna like me saying that. This little Ethiopia. You know how many people you gotta have before they name something little after you? You can't just have a few people and have a place called Little Ethiopia. There gotta be a lot of y'all. To have a little Italy or a little Ethiopia or a little Koreatown, it's a lot of y'all. You know what I'm saying? I know, G Rod. You know, a lot of times, you know, black Americans, you know, when you're from Chicago, they be trying to save face, which I respect that. You know, they don't want you, you know, putting down their city, so they're gonna be like, no, you know. But I ain't putting down their city. You look at Chicago, they'll try to do the same thing to Chicago. And if they do it, I'll be the first one to come and say, man, they turned Chicago into Venezuela. I wouldn't just tell you what it really is. The thing that makes it so difficult to turn Chicago into Venezuela is the weather. If the weather patterns go back to the below zero and stuff like that, it won't be that many Hispanics here. But if the weather patterns stay like this, and it only be getting down to like 30 degrees, 25 degrees, we can end up with uh, a big Hispanic population. But the difference between Chicago and other cities, if we get a big Hispanic population, it's going to be a bloodbath. You all know about it because it's going to be mad gang wars. That's for sure. It ain't going to be nothing quiet. It's going to be serious gang wars. Serious. All in the county jail, all on the streets, and all in the state prisons. It ain't going to be no quiet takeover. If it be a takeover at all, it'll be mad gang wars here. For real. Ain't ain't none of that. So there's no way you wouldn't know it. You can tell the Venezuelans ain't doing nothing because it ain't no war. That's how you know there ain't nothing. Because it ain't none of these BD or GD Blackstone Hoods, Four Corner Hustlers. Nah. Breeds. Ain't no way. Whatever. I don't know. I can speak for the foes. I can speak for the foes. What Four Corner Hustler neighborhoods you don't take over? What? Where that's at? Good luck with that. The weather, that's why they be in California. They could do California because they close to Mexico, so they could storm California. Biden left the borders open, so they stormed the place and outnumbered everybody. Plus, a lot of blacks left California because it got too expensive, and we don't like earthquakes. The ground got to sit still. And so the blacks that migrated to California left, like me. You know what I'm saying? I don't like earthquakes. The ground got to be still. That's the only reason I probably still don't live in California. The earthquake, ain't nobody standing on earthquake zones like that. And see how black populations move is we have children. I'm gonna show you why we migrate. We have children. Our children that go to college, a lot of times they go out of state. They don't come back because they get used to where they at, and then they get in relationships and they could just end up being anywhere. Like my youngest daughter, she graduated, she still ain't back in Chicago. Ain't no telling if she'll come back. There's no telling where she decides she wants to pursue her career at. None of my sons are in Chicago. None of my daughters are in Chicago. I got 6 children. None of them in Chicago. It's not like they just left. Different reasons they left. They didn't leave because they didn't like Chicago. They left for other reasons. Like maybe they're young and their mama moved. So they move with their mama. Then when they move with their mama, wherever their mama live at, and they get older and they get in a relationship, their relationship, or they go to the military, or they go to school from their mama's place, then they go to a different place, then they fall in love there or get a job there, and they'll just be there. This is how migration be happening. But a lot of times it's school and it's relationships or it's job. It's a job happen because young people like to travel. They like to leave home. So like me, like at a certain age, I left. I went to California. I went to Hawaii. I came back to California. As easily, I could have never came back easily. But these companies, they're going to lose a lot of money if they disrespect foundation of Black Americans. They're going to go out of business. They're going to go out of business. Like the African braid shops. The African braid shops are going to go out of business anyway once sisters realize braiding their hair is taking their hair out. And once they keep getting their hair braided and see that their hairline's receding, and now they braiding your hair from back here, that's not going to last long anyway. Because those braids is going to destroy your hair. You're going to be bald-headed with them tight-ass braids and that fake hair braided on your head. Your forehead going to be sticking out with braids from here back. So that style not going to last that long. You know what I'm saying? The African braids, all them sisters going to be bald-headed. It ain't going to be nothing to pinch that stuff to. Right now, they already trying to pinch it on. Same for the brothers with braiding up their dreads. Their hair going to be way back here. Your hair can only survive individual braids. French braids, unless they fat French braids, they can last. But tight French braids take your hair out. Everybody should know that by now. Only braids. That's why back in the day, your mama used to plait your hair, plait your sister's hair. it was all individual braids. Braids that stick out like that, your hair grow. They loose, they braided and it's loose. Them tight ass braids on your forehead like that, looking like you growing corn on your head, all your hair gonna come out. What company or industry do I see next losing business for not respecting FBA? Oh, they're supposed to be boycotting somebody else soon. I forgot which company they said is next. There's a company that's next, but they haven't took the pressure off of Target yet. But I think black immigrant businesses will lose money. Will lose. I think the internet is going to destroy black immigrants' businesses. I think a lot of their businesses will get robbed, broken into, windows busted, because the Africans, they got to tell the Africans to get off the internet beefing with black Americans. And that beefing with black Americans, it's gonna drive the Africans out of the United States. It won't be African nowhere. And my brother, my African brothers and sisters, y'all stupid. Stop, y'all. What's wrong with y'all? How you gonna get on the social media disrespecting black Americans and then send your boy outside, your son? They gonna, man. And soon as them shorty see your son and find out you're African, you know what I'm saying? That don't make no sense to me. My advice would be to black immigrants is, if black Americans are disrespecting you on social media, don't respond. Then they'll stop. They only can do it if you feed the monster. If you feed it, but if you stop feeding it, it'll just go away. But if you feed it, it's gonna grow, grow, grow. They're gonna start making TikTok videos. They're gonna start talking about boycotting your stuff. And then see, the dangers is that they children see mama don't like them. And see, mama is a problem. Mama and daddy is a problem. So if I'm sitting here and some Africans talking crazy to me and I got my grandson here, PJ, and he hear that, they're gonna be planted in PJ head. Now when PJ go to school, he gonna tell all the other foundational black American children, them Africans is doo-doo, them Africans ain't this or that. So now all the kids gonna grow up and hate Africans. Then when they see Africans their age, it's gonna be up. And you basically isolating yourself. And then you can't go into white neighborhoods because your sons and daughters gonna be the N-word. I don't understand Africans. Where you gonna live at? The best place for you to live is around black people. When you try to take your kids and send them to them white schools, they're gonna bully your sons and daughters. And they black and Africans, they gonna do them real dirty. Your children gonna be messed up by the time they grow up, going through all that. When you could have adapted them into the black, we would have protected them. We would have protected them. All you have to do is be a homie. Black folks wouldn't have hate on no Africans. The first introduction to Africans around the black community would be a little for them kids. But after so many years, there'd just be some more. It'd be known, everybody be used to them. They only gonna say something because they ain't used to you, the first African around. But if they get around Africans a lot, it's just gonna be normal. The black kids gonna start learning African languages and all that. Your son come on talking Nigeria. You like, what'd you just say? Where you get that from? Oh, my boy Zimbude taught me that. You're like, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? They gonna pick up on it. They gonna turn black Americans They'll take them African clothes and they'll start wearing that shit in a different way. Man, if the Africans blended in with the black American kids, they'll take them African clothes, but they'll wear them different. They'll make it the shit. They wouldn't really be beefing like that. They're not familiar. The only problem is just no familiarity. Once they familiar, they don't care. Black folks ain't prejudiced like that. You know what I'm saying? But you come from Africa, ain't no black Americans. You slow as hell. You ain't doing no studying. And you only know one type of black Americans. You ain't really know about these gangsters and these gangs and stuff. So you thinking Bill Cosby, or you thinking like some stereotyped European. You don't really know black Americans like that. So when you come and don't be around us, you don't even know nothing. How you gonna live in a country with some other black people know nothing about them? How you gonna leave a country with all them African criminals that come here and call us criminals? I don't understand Africans. How you gonna leave where y'all all say Nigerians is crooks and criminals, and then come over here and call us criminals when we know in Africa that's how y'all stereotype Nigerians. Because Africans stereotype Nigerians. Africans don't like Nigerians. Any Nigerian, to tell you the truth, if a Nigerian go to another country, he gets stereotyped because of so much stuff Nigerians did. See what I'm saying? So they stereotype every Nigerian. So it's crazy for you to come from Nigeria and stereotype people when you leave in the stereotype. Because they stereotype Nigerians. Any Nigerian to tell you. The one brother, he's from Ghana, and he went to Kenya, and they was treating him bad because they thought he was a Nigerian. Wadamaya said he went to East Africa, right? He said Wadamaya said he went to East Africa, and they was treating him real mean because they thought he was a Nigerian. Man, that was funny, man. Wadamaya said they thought I was Nigerian. They kept treating me messed up. I said, hell no. Do you think with a name like Target, that particular establishment has interest in the black dollar anyway? What do you mean interest in the black dollar? I understand your question, Elvis. What do you mean by interest in the black dollar? That part I don't understand. I don't know what you mean by interest in the black dollar. You mean do they have interest in the $2 trillion spending power? If you was a business, would you have interest in $2 trillion business? Elvis, if you had a business, right? If you was Target and you was competing against Walmart, would you want our business, or would you want us to take our $2 trillion to Walmart? Which one would you do if you ran Target? If Target was nice to us and took our money, would you be mean to us and let Target have the money, Elvis? If you was a business person, because obviously you're not a business person. So I want you to think as a business CEO of a company that's trying to make a lot of money. Would you be willing to lose people that's got $2 trillion? You do understand that Black Americans are the seventh richest nation in the world. Well, the seventh biggest nation in the world. Let me find out. Because you probably don't know that. You probably don't know our spending power. They say we're the eighth richest nation in the world. You probably don't know that. In the world. If African Americans was in Africa, we would be. If African Americans was in Africa, we'd be in the top 7 countries population wise. Most African, we got 50 million of us. Very few African countries have 50 million people. It's only a few ahead of us. Nigeria, I think Kenya, and a couple more. That's it. We would be one of the most powerful nations in Africa. That's not a question. You never answered the question, so I can't answer a question if you don't answer no question. Elvis, if I ask you a question and you don't answer it, at that point you're illegitimate. Okay? At that point you're illegitimate. I asked you a question, you didn't answer it. If you don't answer my question, do you deserve an answer now? No. At this point, you're full of. I know you're full of it. You've exposed yourself. You're a fraud. Okay, you're not an honest person to discuss with. Because I asked you clearly, would you be willing to lose that money? Yes or no? You didn't answer it. At this point, I don't want to talk to you no more. It's a block party. Bye. I don't want to talk to you. I asked him a question, right? This is how, if you're on social media, you have to know this stuff. If somebody asks you something and you ask them a question pertaining to their question and they ignore it and they try to ask you another question, block them immediately. Now he can't come back to my block them because I already know it's an enemy. And an enemy is never going to say anything intelligent. They're hell bent on going against you. And there's nothing I could say to them. There's nothing I could say to them. Period. There's nothing I can say to that person. It would be a waste of my time. They're not going to be honest. They only want to push their point of view. And they're not going to listen to nothing you say. But they want you to constantly respond to them. It's probably a European that think they run something. I got to show them you don't run nothing but your mouth. You know what I'm saying? You don't run nothing over here. Go find somebody else to play with. He learned a lot when I blocked him. He has ultimate respect for me. He know I said F you. He know when I blocked him like that, he's like, oh, he ain't the one. He ain't the one. I know what he's thinking right now. Serious guy. I know, punk. Get your goofy ass out of here. This the rack. But get your goof ass out of here. Bro, I asked you a question in response. I thought that was respectful. You asked me another question. All right, bye. Because white America don't have enough money to support white American businesses. And white American businesses that's open gonna make more money. So he didn't want to answer the question. A store that's getting everybody's money is going to do better than a store that's only getting certain money. And in business, it's about competition. And so it doesn't matter if Target get white dollars, they're still going to lose money. They're going to have to close their stores in where the blacks community's at. They're going to lose. Other people are going to replace them. So let's say somebody said, well, they'll go over here and be fine. We don't care. We don't care if you be fine. That's fine. You just can't get our dollars. We're not interested if you still make it. And this way he don't want to understand. Well, you don't understand. We don't care if they still make it. That's not the issue. We're not trying to stop you from making money. We just not giving you our money. You wonder what this OG knows about hoodoo, conjure, and root work? I know that if you're standing on business with the Most High, that shit don't work. And the only way you could do hoodoo and conjuring root work is I got to drink something or I got to eat something. You cannot do that through the air. Voodoo and stuff is fake. They spike your stuff. So if you go down to Jamaica and they put OB on you, they put something in your drink. So what they'll do is they'll put something in your drink. Then and that's gonna give you a headache. Then they'll make a dial of you and stick a pin in the head. So then you have a headache. But you really got the headache because they spiked your rum. There's no root work or nothing without them spiking you. They have no power to do nothing through the air. Facts. There's no such thing as voodoo without some substance. Period. They got to use a powder or something. They have no power. They use powders and stuff like that. That's a fact. Checkmate, Q. So don't come up here wondering what this OG know. I know that stuff what you saying is fake. There is no, that's why it's called root work, because they use roots, right? He's slow. What he say? He say root work. Root work is what? Using certain poisonous plants to mix in something, to mix you a Jimmy, and then pretend they did something to you. This is all facts. Back when they was blowing that powder in people's face, they went down there and found that powder, and they use it right now for anesthesia in the hospitals. Facts. In Haiti, where they was doing the voodoo, and they was blowing powder on people's face and making them mummies, some white men went down there and found the powder, and right now it's used for anesthesia. Checkmate. This big Pharaoh. Checkmate. Checkmate. So that's what this OG know about that. Root work and stuff. Now, what you know about me, putting the energy with the gods and sicking my God on you. Even though I don't know who you is, if I wanted to, I could make something happen to you with no voodoo. I could use the Most High. What you know about that? Let me see what your name is. What you know about if you really vexed me and I really went to my God and had him find you because God know who Q is, and then things happen to you. What you know about that? If I sick God on you, which I wouldn't do, I'm just saying what you know about that. You do know I could have you touched without knowing who you is, right? I could put a bad vibe out there on you. It ain't voodoo. We don't deal with the dark side. I could send the light, the angels at you. Okay? What you know about that? What you know about playing me on this internet and having bad things happen to you from you being dark, from you being into witchcraft, messing with the angelic one. What you know about your karma? Hey, stop playing with me. What you know about that? What you know about coming over here working with the devil when you dealing with like people that's dealing with righteousness? What you know about that? You know what I'm saying? What you know about karma? Okay? Nah, hey, that shit. What's he talking about? He can't do nothing like that. That shit's make believe. Do he know how many voodoo people I didn't? Hell, man, I'm gonna have to write like 3-4 books because I didn't been into it. You know what I mean? I can't say certain things in violence here, but I didn't did a couple voodoo people. You know, you know, they voodoo. I don't know what happened to their voodoo. You know what I'm saying? I done voodoo, bop, bop, bop. You know what I'm saying? I done did. Anyway, listen. I don't know what you're talking about, bro. You know what I'm saying? You sing feminine, go holler at Tariq. You know what I'm saying? You know your name is Q. Q stand for quit playing, quit being soft, quit being the weirdo, okay? That's what Q stand for. Quit. Get you a life, bro. It's a block party. Bob, go barbecue. I don't be fucking around with losers. I don't mess with losers. You ever, Tyreek be doing this. Oh, you got him in your mouth. Tyreek all on your tonsils. Yeah, I said, boy, get off Tyreek's. You know what I'm saying? This man over here. Yeah, Tariq is doing stuff. Bro, get your what's going on? You know, you take him over here. Tariq got a soap and Tariq be doing that stuff. Oh, for real? Okay, that's unfortunate. You know what I mean? That's unfortunate. He over here feminine. He over here feminine. Tell me what Tyreek be doing. Yeah, we being over here. Boy, I tell you, this internet. Tariq got soap and Tariq be doing stuff. Oh, okay, you the police, huh? See, on the block, he'll be the once we seen them trying to snitch on Tyreek. See, this is what brothers don't be knowing nothing about the streets. Now you would just be a snitch. They'll figure if you tell that, you tell everything. It's what my mom and them used to call her, tattletale. You know what I'm saying? That's what we used to call. You know what I mean? Bro, you be telling. Tyreek be doing stuff. Tyreek be doing stuff, Pharaoh. You need to go see. Man, Tyreek minded Tyreek business. I don't care what he doing, bro. I'm a grown man. I'm not watching a dude like that. Nah, I don't do that kind of stuff. I don't do that kind of stuff. I don't mess with God like that. I don't be doing that type of stuff. I don't do that. I never sick nothing on nobody. I'm just letting them know that that type of power be out here. You know what I'm saying? And that this story came out with this guy getting fired from Target because they lost a lot of money. You understand? And people want to take it Black Americans. If I got a business in America, I can't disrespect white people. I'm going to lose money. I can't disrespect Hispanic people. I'm going to lose money. I can't disrespect Asian people. I will lose money. Unless my store only makes money from blacks, and if I got a store like a department store, you cannot have an enemy. And if I have to go between the government and the people, I'm going to go with the people over the government all the time. I would not ride with Trump. I wouldn't have rode with him. Why would I ride with Trump for 4 years and then he out of there and then I'm still messed up? You understand? When you're doing business like that, you see, you see this 2 trillion Black American spending power. That's not true. They're not counting the illegal money. Look, they're not counting all the money. They ain't counting all the money in the streets. This just working money. Black America is making billions of dollars illegally. Facts. We making a lot of money under the table. They talk, you know what I'm saying? I'm not doing nothing illegal, but if I was messed up and I just really needed some money, I could call some people and get some money right now. Right now, I can jump in the streets right now and get me 40, 50, 100,000. Right now. Right now. 100 grand. I just don't, I'm not in the streets no more. I ain't gonna get 100 grand, get arrested, do about 2 years, spend about 20 of it, get out, have 80 grand, have more money than somebody that worked the whole 2 years. I'd be in a penitentiary playing whist, playing spades. They don't play whist, they a little slow. Bomb spades. I'd be in the penitentiary doing push ups, playing spades, and get back out to my bag and be fine. A little vacation. The Dollar Tree is getting Dollar Tree is not necessarily getting Target money, but Dollar Tree gets Dollar Tree John gets not go nowhere money. So the Dollar Tree money, I know you're trying to tell jokes, but the Dollar Tree money, they always got money, but the Dollar Tree is the right around the corner money. Like if I go to Walmart, if I'm on 100, if one of these neighborhoods, if I go to Walmart, Walmart's in specific areas, Target's in specific areas, close right up to the hood. If I want to get some garbage bags, the Dollar Tree is right there. So I'm finna go up to 87, make a left, go down there, go to Dollar Tree. Now let's say on 87, right? Let's think about 87s, right? If I go to 87, boom, I come out 87th. Let's say I'm over by Jeffrey. I make a left. When I make the left and go down, I gotta I'm gonna hit the dollar store. Now if I keep driving, I could go to Jules. So if I need a lot of stuff, I'm gonna go to Jules. If I need a little bit of stuff, I'm gonna go to the dollar store. Now I had somebody ask me, do NASCAR care about the black dollar? If the city is losing money from the black dollar, the city won't be able to afford to bring NASCAR to the city. The NASCAR just was in Chicago, and without the black dollar, the NASCAR would never be able to come to Chicago because Chicago wouldn't have enough money to pay for it. Yeah. And then who gives a fuck about NASCAR? We don't care about NASCAR. We don't never see it. So if us not spending no money, and see, this is a person asking me talking about whites making money, try to make it like a stupid conversation, right? Like whites can make money without us, which sort of. And that's why you asked about NASCAR and didn't ask about the NBA, the NFL, or Major League Baseball, because if black people walked away from them sports, you would go broke. You wouldn't have no baseball or basketball for sure. You wouldn't have no football without foundational black Americans. It would crash. The NFL would crash and the NBA would crash. Be done. Finished. Kaput. And all you would do is drive us to build industries that would be competitive. If 50 million black Americans buying black American phones would be a problem. 50 million black Americans going to their own arenas, going to their own concerts. This is why America don't want us to be in a position to have our own stuff, because it would hurt the economy. You understand? It would hurt the economy. The white economy is built off of slavery and built off of using black Americans. It's built off of stealing, really. There's no honest white economy. It's built off of stolen inventions, patenting stuff you didn't make, and white Americans are poor, actually. to be honest with you. To be honest with you, white Americans are poor. White Americans are downtown begging. Got signs begging for food. Homeless everywhere. It's 20 million poor white Americans. 20 million. It's 50 million black Americans, and there's 20 million poor white Americans. Almost half the number there is of black Americans totally. I rest my case. And so if the conversation is based on trying to make me think that white America is rich and that's poor, many white Americans are barely making it because rich white Americans rob everybody, including the whites. The rich rob white people more than anybody. And so most white Americans are just living from paycheck to paycheck. So I ain't going to disrespect white Americans by not seeing their pain and mentioning their struggle. They are struggling in this country where only the rich live well. And if you're a white American and you ain't rich, you struggle. That's a fact. So I got a person trying to come up with some racism, but they ain't got that real knowledge because the real knowledge is beyond racism. So see, he's slow. White America is struggling right now, hurting bad because you got poor, then you got this group. So it's not poor and rich, it's poor and it's almost poor and it's kind of poor, right? And so it's 20 million that's poor, but there's another 20 million that's almost poor. There's another 20 million that ain't doing so well. There's another 20 million that's, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not just poor, there's on your way to being poor too. A lot of us in America, this where we at. We a few paychecks from being poor. So that person is don't understand what's going on. Am I Jewish? Jewish is a person that wish they was a Jew. Basically. I don't know what you're talking about. And it's a block party, even on Kick, you'll get blocked. Okay? Yeah, I be blocking over on Kick too. You blocked. Yeah, it's a block party over there too. Go log in. Else y'all can't see it. Somebody asked me, am I Jewish? Y'all can't see the Kick comments. Oh, you can see them because I got them coming up on the thing. So yeah, you can see them. And so racism and the black dollar would destroy America because you got to know in business, you got breaking even and then you got profits. And anytime you cut into your profits, you can't stay in business. And black Americans add to the profits. The way the country is set up, the way the country is set up, if you discriminate in any type of way, you won't be able to keep up with your competitors that don't. And there's always going to be people that's not going to do race, they're going to do dollars. So anytime you do race, you're going to lose money. And all of those businesses that try to follow them trillionaires, I mean them billionaires around Trump, you're not a billionaire. You're going to go broke following them because they cheating on the stock market. They doing other things to make their money. And you just some white guy with a business and you listening to Trump. But Trump don't care nothing about you. He getting the money way up at the top. You're not going to get none of that money. And you get out here playing like how he playing, you're going to go broke. And for a lot of white Americans don't understand, when you listen to Trump and you go broke, him and his rich buddies going to come buy your damn business. That's how much he love you. They going to come and take your business. They going to come and take your land when many of you whites go out of business messing with Trump. Trump don't got no love for you. It's tight. They call them tycoons for a reason. Yeah, Target been struggling because Target hasn't been as powerful as Walmart. Walmart run everything in Amazon. Amazon, nobody like me. I get my stuff brought right to me. I don't shop. Amazon is better than Target, Walmart, Costco, any of them. Why? Because Amazon allows me to find exactly what I want, whether the store has it or not. I don't have to worry if the store has it. I don't have to worry if the store has it. I can go there and find exactly what I want. Walmart is doing good because you can go online at Walmart. I just ordered some plant-based meat from Walmart. So that's why Walmart is competing because Walmart is delivering just like Amazon. Trust me, I'm telling you. And Walmart got the walk-in customers and the delivery. That's why they competing with Amazon. Amazon is worried about Walmart. You understand? Amazon is worried about Walmart. Ask the farmers if they lost something. The farmers is broke and out of business. Yeah, they done. And the stores is empty. Yeah, the farmers are going broke. They losing mad money. The stores is empty. Y'all better go to the store. Don't listen to stormy weather. Y'all better go to the store because those tariffs is driving them farming. Them tariffs and the fact they ain't got no Hispanics to work at the farm, and you know Europeans love slavery. So yeah, Stormy, the fact that the white farmers don't have no more slaves, no more people from South America to work for them for free. Yeah, they hurting because you know white America can't make no money unless they use people and have slaves. So yeah, the farmers are hurting since Trump is throwing out the immigrants that they had out there picking their food for nothing. Yeah, Stormy. The farmers are struggling since they can't be oppressors and be slave drivers and don't losing their slaves. Ouch, huh? Yeah. Ow, I know that. I know. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Ask the farmers if they lost something. Yeah. You ask them. Yeah. You ask them. I'm not going to block you yet. I want you to get this work. Yeah, I want you to get this work. You see how the farmer's struggling. I want you to get this work. Stay over here and get this work. Don't run. Don't run, punk. Don't run. Don't run. Stay over here. Don't run, punk. Don't run. Labor shortages, stricter immigration enforcement, and increased deportation has resulted in a reduction of the farm labor pool, leaving farmers struggling to find workers for essential tasks like planting, harvesting, and livestock care. According to the American Immigration Council, farmers have reported that a significant percentage of their workforce stopped reporting to work following immigration enforcement. Labor shortage directly impact farm productivity and profitability and potentially leading to significant crop losses and financial strain for the farmers. Some estimates suggest that the inability to find dependable labor is a major reason for the increase in fresh fruit and vegetable imports, costing billions in sales and thousands of jobs. Rising costs of food prices for everybody, not just black people. Reduced labor supply can drive up labor costs, which in turn can lead to higher production costs for farmers, ultimately increase food prices for all the consumers. Okay? So you can stop trolling. You don't know what you're talking about. And goodbye. Have a good one. Come back again, log in on your last account. You only got so many emails. If you're a content creator, you got to troll. Remember, once you block them so many times, they can't come back because they only can get so many emails. Okay? And they only can use their phone number to get so many emails. And once they run out of emails, they can't come back. So let them use up their 3, 4, 5 accounts and they'll be gone. Stormy weather probably won't be, might got one more. So understand when I block them, I'm making them work for me. So I got stormy weather working for me, struggling, trying to come back. I'm basically making a slave out of them. So when I got trolls, I be making them work. So when I block them, they got to go, and come back. Then I block them, they got to go, and come back. And I block them, they got to go, See what I'm saying? They don't know that I know I'm making slaves. I'm making them work. I'm having fun with them. Like, yeah, go get another account and come back. You know what I'm saying? Go, you know what I mean? Go, Stormy, or whatever your name is. Go, do a bunch of work, get another account, come back. I'll leave you for a couple minutes. I'll block you again. Then you can go do a bunch of work again. And then you can come back. I got all the time in the world. I can block, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? I got, it's just doop, doop. It don't bother me. I like trolls. I like trolls over here. I like trolls over here. NASCAR is a brand, race being focal point. I don't know what you talk about, Kunta. Have no idea what you're talking about. But good luck with that. Maybe you can find somebody to listen to you. I don't know. Hopefully you get somebody to listen to you. Hopefully you find somebody that care what you're typing. Me, I don't care what you're talking about. I don't care what you're typing. I don't care about any of that. You the one care. I would be crazy to listen to you. I'll be out of my mind. If you get doing social media, what you do not do is listening to people that get obsessed with you. Just let them stay obsessed and get rid of them. Because there's things you say that get them upset, and then they want to get you upset or get you caught up into whatever their feelings is. They just got to eat it. At the end of the day, Target is losing money and fired their top CEO. At the end of the day, it's bothering Target. He said, he's like, act like it ain't gonna bother them, but yet they fired dude. It's bothering somebody. These people be crazy on this social media. They just fired they person, and this person trying to act like it ain't no big deal, that they could just brush it off. People is crazy. For sure. He constantly trying to tell me it ain't no big deal and they firing people. If it ain't no big deal, then why they sales sluggish? Talk to me about something real. If that black dollar ain't no big deal, then why Target CEO to step down and sales remain sluggish? What do they care? Why don't they leave him in there? They don't care. They can brush it off. And then when somebody talk to me about Target like it represents white people ain't making no money at Target. Them baggers, them white, the Target that's near me, them white kids in there ain't making no money. Only the crooks at the top making money. The average white person ain't making nothing at Target. And so when you try to talk about it like it's pro-white, you're doing a disservice to your own race because it's not pro-white. It's pro-billionaires at the top. And the people at the bottom at Target is struggling. The people at the bottom at Walmart is struggling. The people at the bottom at Costco's is struggling. The only people, Walgreens, all them, the people that actually make the place run ain't making nothing. The white Americans that work for Target ain't making shit. They ain't nothing but slaves just to make enough money to get by. And so when a person come over here try to talk like a Target is fine and it's so great and it's so white, no, it's not. These companies don't care nothing about white Americans. By the time a couple more years of the Trump administration, white Americans will be in the street protesting because he doesn't care nothing about the working man, period. I don't give a damn what color you are. Trump don't give a damn about working people. He don't care nothing about white people. He only care about rich billionaires. And he's using race like they always use race to misuse struggling white people. They use race to mistreat white people. And white people going to wake up to that. They've always done that. Always. And white America is going to wake up. In other words, they got black people down here and they got white people right here. And they rich up here. And they tell these white people, at least you're doing better than the blacks. That's what they've been doing for a long time. Have you out there in the field on a horse burning up watching the slaves while he in the house drinking lemonade. And they tell you, boy, at least you're doing better than them. It's the oldest trick in the book. The best way to misuse poor white people is to make somebody poorer and then use these poorer people to make them think they doing all right while you rob everybody. There was no race. They only started using race to rob white people. There was no race before the economic system they built in America. There was no such thing as white and black and all that. They created race to use black people and white people, to use poor people. And race is a poor construct that's used to keep people down from the filthy rich who are white, but they don't give a damn about white. They don't care nothing about you like that because they white. You think they care about white people, them billionaires? No. You know what I'm saying? They don't. They don't. They say it's 300,000 homeless white people. It's more than that. It's more than that. There's 1.5 million homeless white people, at least. They can't count no homeless people. They talking about 280,000. Right. They've always used race to keep the underclass down. Blacks know it, but whites don't know it yet because they so desperate to be white and feel like they got some privilege even if they don't. So this is why they hate us, because the only ones they can stun on is black people. They can't stun on rich whites. So they take all their anger out on blacks. And this is why when a black person becomes rich, you see how much they hate them? They really hate you when you're black and you're making a lot of money and you're doing better than a lot of white people, because it begins to reveal they ain't doing so well. So when you see the rich white billionaire high-fiving the black NBA players when they win the finals, you got to understand the poor struggling whites, what that looked like to them. That he made these blacks rich before he made them black rich. They don't be liking that. So that's why they cheering for the white Caitlin Clark like that. So they can have, an athlete rich to be with the rich white billionaires and her too, instead of it's always black people, because that's like a slap in the face. That they realize that the rich billionaires don't care nothing about none of us at the bottom. And white Americans ain't going to realize that until the food run out. They ain't coming to feed you. You look at all these storms. Trump didn't go say nothing to them people. He let them people, man, he not doing nothing for them people. To him, they white trash. Who made up the word white trash? Black people didn't make that up. Just think about that concept. We never made up no word called white trash. That's billionaires made it about the rest of the white people. That's how they look at them as trash. They don't deal with the word black and white. They deal with the word, what they call themselves. They call themselves what? Blue blood. That's what they call. They don't call themselves white. They call themselves blue blood. Think about it. That's what they call themselves at the top, blue blood. That's what they call themselves at the top. They don't call themselves. They ain't white. They blue blood. The billionaires and trillionaires, they not white. They blue blood. Racism is fake, y'all. Racism ain't real. Racism is a construct to make poor whites keep other people down. So they got to make them feel special. So they tell them, you white, you better get down there and make sure they stay under you. Then they can't get close to me. Basically, I used to be talking to police. White police would be talking to me for 2 hours. Pull me over on some racial profile. They end up 2 hours because I tell them, I ask a white police officer, listen, if this planet started to be destroyed and they get on their space shuttles, are they going to come get y'all? They said, hell no. I said, think about the concept of having poor ghettos and putting you in a police car and have you patrol the poverty areas to protect the property that they own. Because you're not here to protect the people. You're here to protect the property of the rich people. The police ain't here to protect people. They here to protect the rich people's property. They slaves. They here to ride around in the poverty and put their life in danger to protect the billionaires and trillionaires. That's all they do. And they make trillions and billions of dollars for them, locking people up. All that money go to the top. That money do not go back to the police. All them bonds and all that money in the justice system, that should go to these prisons, and then these prisoners work for free for these big corporations that make billions and trillions of dollars from free prison labor, right? And how much do they kick back in to the police that made them prisoners possible? Think about that. Think about a organization, a criminal organization that have police arrest people, take these people and send them, make them work for free. So corporations can make trillions, and the police that provided that labor don't get nothing. Because if you're in there doing prison work for big companies, who made it possible? Who turned you over to the big companies? The police. And the big companies got you in there working, right? For a lot of money. And how much of that money do they get a police? They don't get a police shit. And the police the one that's providing the free labor. They got the police out there, the slave catchers. They steal slave catchers. The police is slave catchers and don't make nothing from the slaves they catch. The billionaires and the trillionaires get all the money. The police is just suckers. They the first one gonna get unalive when shit go crazy. If I'm in the hood, I'm standing on the block, and I got a weapon with a clip, and I ain't going no more, and the police jump out, who the first one gonna get aired out? The police. Do we make enough money for putting his life under danger, jumping out on me like that? No. But if he happen to apprehend me, I go to prison, and then I go end up working for free for these big corporations. They making all the money, but the police officer that put his life on the line don't got nothing. Him and his wife and his family struggling. Police don't live real good like that. You got Americans that got jobs and corporations make way more money than police, accountants and shit like that. But the police is doing the most dangerous job. I always said that the police should be making a lot of money. Police should be making a whole lot of money. Teachers should be making a whole lot of money. Firemen, them type of people supposed to make a lot. They don't make shit compared to what they be doing. They live right on the block with us. I lived on 116th in Aberdeen. It was like 8 police officers lived on the block. My daddy was a bus driver, and they lived just like my daddy. My daddy might have made more money than them. On my soul. They ain't live no better than no other hardworking Black Americans. They live like regular middle-class Black Americans, which is not rich. That is a fact. You don't see police officers living out in these rich neighborhoods, in these real nice neighborhoods. Those ain't police officers. Police officers live in those regular homes in these cities. Tell me I'm lying. When you go out to a suburb or somewhere that's got them big-ass houses, are those police houses? No. No. Those just bankers and people in the stock market. That's their homes. Police live in them regular homes in regular communities. Police don't be living in them $1 million homes and $1.5 million. Police be living in them $240,000 homes, $300,000 homes. That's where they be living with the west, where nurses and the rest of the slaves live. Oh, so that's where they live. That's a fact. They mistreat the police. They don't treat the police right. Police do not get paid what they're supposed to get paid. Salute to all the police out there. That's why they be so mean. That's why a lot of them be so mean. You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of them be so mean. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's a fact. White supremacy is just an illusion. You know what I'm saying? I'll be glad when my brothers and sisters as white Americans wake up. You know what I'm saying? The whole reason that so many Black Americans hate white people, that's planned like that. When you buy into that, they got you. That's what they want. They got you. Because now you can't separate the trillionaires, the elite, from the regular white people. You think they all the same. Like the Ku Klux Klan in them, they considered trash. They don't got no respect with the elites. They ain't got no respect for no Nazis and no Ku Klux Klan. They look at Zelensky like trash. He a Nazi. They look at him like, see how Trump talked to Zelensky? Like, get your bum ass out of here. They ain't got no respect for that. They don't do racism. They do money. They do money. Everybody think Trump gonna do something to Black Americans. Trump is not fucking up that money. He ain't gonna do nothing to foundational Black America. Everybody talking about he after Black people in Washington, D.C. When Black people in Washington, D.C. glad he there to get all them hoodlums and shit off the street because we can't go outside. Our kids can't go outside and play and all that. And they trying to play the race card because the police going to come in and get the niggas out there out the street that'll kill me. You know what I'm saying? That's who the police looking for. They looking for the people that I don't want to see. Now, it'd be some innocent people caught up in the mix because you got some racists in there don't do the job right, but that's what the mission is, to get the scumbags out of here that's messing up the money. Because the scumbags is messing up the money. I can't open up a store because they going to smash and grab my store. They ain't going to just smash and grab no white store. They going to smash and grab any store. If you black and you get a nice store and you got a lot of purses and stuff like that, they coming in there, they taking it. And they black or Hispanic. And they gonna pull your bars off your store at night, and they gonna go in your store and they gonna take all your stuff. Why you don't say nothing racial when that happens? When black folks tearing up black people's stores and tearing up black people's stuff and breaking into black people's homes and taking black people's catalytic converters off their cars at night. Why you don't be talking race then? My biggest enemy is young black men. Because young white men is scary. They pussy, so I ain't got to worry about them. But young black men, they really with it. I ain't worry about no young white dudes running up on me talking crazy because they pussy. I got to worry about young black men who's really with the bullshit. They got them things with switches on. That's what I got to worry about. I ain't got to worry about no white dudes. They only tough when it's a whole bunch of them. They stand around, we Ku Klux Klan. They got to have me, so we Ku Klux Klan. You know, they got the white dudes is soft as hell. They got to have a meeting and be Ku Klux Klan. Yeah, we don't like the blacks. Yeah, we're going to get the blacks. Yeah, down with the Jews. Oh, you know, they got to have they got to be somewhere. Then they go and they march around. You know what I'm saying? They pussy as hell. They don't never run up. The Ku Klux Klans in the areas, they some bitches. They ain't gonna do shit. Okay? We've been waiting. I've been waiting for how many years for them to pull their bitch asses up. They ain't never gonna pull up. The leader making money, charging dues. We Ku Klux Klan, right? Yeah, did you pay your dues? Yeah, did you buy your sheet? Yeah, he making all the money, sleeping with all their wives. They mess around, do something crazy, go to jail. They be with the LGBTQs and stuff and get out, don't want the rest of the areas and KKK to know they was in there with them punks. You know what I'm saying? Oh, my son. You know what I'm saying? In there with them punks. You know what I'm saying? They ain't no nothing. They don't be in that prison, that penitentiary playing with us like that. They stay over there with that. On their guys. Boy, the only way they gonna do that is if you get in there where they the majority. That's the only way they tough. If it's 90 of them and 5 of y'all, they real tough. But if it's 50-50, they ain't tough. Never. They only tough when they outnumber you. How is that tough? When the numbers even, they not never tough. Even when it's 35, 60, once they get around 35, 65, they fall. 35, 60, before it gets 60, 40, 35, 65, they fall. 35% of blacks, around 65% whites, they'll fall. They don't want no smoke. Now, they won't smoke if it's like 80-20, around 80-20. Because I went to Lutheran school. We was like 35, 65. It might as well have been 75 black, 25 them because they bitched up. You know what I'm saying? Nobody played with the real nigga up there at that Lutheran school. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Come on, man. Even in 7th, 8th grade, they sent me to the Lutheran school. I had to put the foo-fops on a greaser. You had to put the food fops on the greaser. He had never met no real nigga before. He had never been around one. He's only around religious. You know what I'm saying? He was only about around the religious ones. You know what I'm saying? He was only around religious ones. That's the only ones he was around. When I came up there from Mount Said, I was in seventh grade. I had to roll on the eighth grade. He playing. He thought he was the Fonz, right? He was like, look, dressed like a greaser with the pointy toe shoes, with his comb his hair back. You know what I'm saying? Here I am. You know what I'm saying? I'm in seventh grade. There's two black girls in my class. I'm trying to kiss on them and stuff. His little sister Amy. Amy wanted me to kiss on her. She running behind me, right? She an in lover. And so he mad. You know, he mad because his little ugly sister. But I ain't even mess with your sister because she had rabbit teeth and she wasn't on nothing. She was ugly. She was a nice girl though. It was my little friend, but I mean I wasn't messing with her. But I know he synced her, Google eyeing me. So he, he put his pointy toe shoes on my hand while I'm sitting with the ladies playing spin the bottle on off day, school play day. I had to get up and roll on him. His face red, I had to Ali shuffle him and roll on him. I ain't no, I'm not no private school nigga, you know what I'm saying? My mama just sent me here. I'm from outside. I was from outside and he was used to punking the private school blacks. But I wasn't no private school, bro. Don't you see they got on the little shirts with the turtles and kangaroos on it? Don't you see I got on purple? Don't you see, bro, I got on purple shirt, purple pants, and purple shoes, and I just my imagination once again. Running, you can't see I'm Smokey Robinson and the Miracles and the Temptations and all that. I'm not, bro, what? Don't you see I'm dressed niggery? Don't you see I'm not dressed like a private school black fool? You know what I'm saying? I got cigarettes in my socks, probably weed rolled up, dice in my pocket. Yeah. What was wrong with him? Like, bruh, you know what I'm saying? Don't you see I'm with the bullshit? What's wrong with him? He could have looked at me and seen, no, this one of them ones. He not a private school black. I just got here in the eighth grade. My mama trying to save me, but I ain't saved yet. You know what I'm saying? Or ism or schism. I want to be saved, but I'm not. I'm not saved yet. You should have messed with the blacks that they sent here in second grade or third grade. I'm in the seventh grade. This is a new experience for me. I'm off the block. I got dice in my pocket. So he just didn't know. He just thought all he seen was a black face. He didn't do good observation. And I'm from the public school. My friend from public schools. Public schools out on different days. This is a Lutheran school. The guy's going to come up here to meet me at the school one day, too. And they're going to be like, what up, Stu? Anybody up here giving you a problem? See what I'm saying? When they came up there, they asked me, was somebody giving me a problem? I looked back at all the scary greasers and stuff. And I'm a cool dude. I'm not a dude with racist stuff. I told my guys, nah, they cool. You know what I'm saying? I told the guy, they cool. They been straightened out. They cool. I got them. They all right. Leave them alone. They cool. They back there looking like this. Don't sycamores. I wouldn't do y'all like that. You know what I'm saying? I fucks with y'all. I messed with all the white kids. You know what I'm saying? And the black kids. I was the leader. A leader got to be a good leader. They was all following me. So I'm not finna hate on them. These the guys now. You know what I'm saying? These the guys. They all with me. You know what I'm saying? Now, because I didn't, even I had to whoop the older one, but you know, when I whooped the eighth grader, he probably been bullying the seventh grade whites too. So they was probably happy I put the foo-fops on the bully. You know, when you check the bully, all the kids like it because I wasn't no bully. I'm a nice person. I get along with everybody. I don't do bully stuff. I whoop a bully, but I'm not gonna turn into a bully. So once I beat down the bully, all the kids love me. They start singing, "Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? The big bad wolf, the big bad wolf." Who's ever, you know, they was happy because it was peace around here now. Sit your goofy ass down trying to bully people. Punk, you can't even fight. How you gonna be a bully and an eighth grade bully? You let a seventh grade beat you up. You ain't even a good bully. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I don't do race hate. I don't do hate. I like to have a good time. I don't like hate. I don't do hate. I don't believe in hating people. So I'm not anti-white. I'm beating anybody ass fuck with me. I don't discriminate on whooping motherfuckers that be fucking with me. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck what color you is. You know what I'm saying? It's an equal opportunity beat down over here. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that. A white person got to show me he a hater. Then he get the haterade. You know what I'm saying? If he not a hater, no problem. If he a hater, see you later. You know what I'm saying? That's how I live. I don't live with hate. You know what I mean? It's a simple. Punks jump up to get beat down. You ain't on that. I ain't on that. I don't care nothing about race hate. I don't pay that no attention. You gotta come right here with the race hate if you really all that. If you really the Ku Klux Klan, you come right here. You're gonna lose a K. You're gonna go back to your wife. She's gonna be like, "Honey, what, baby? You left here with 3 Ks. What happened to one of your Ks? You only got 1 K. I ran into a nigger and he knocked the K off my shit." You know what I'm saying? I ran into a nigga. He knocked one of my Ks off. You know? Basically, that's how that gonna go. You're gonna go back with 2 Ks, but you're gonna lose one of them Ks playing with the real one. You're gonna come with 3 Ks, you're gonna go back home with 2 Ks. That's how that shit gonna go. And holler at me when you ready. I'm not getting all hyped up. Trump coming, they coming. I'm not doing all that. I see them when they get here. I can't be getting all hyped up in advance. What's going on, Kushite? With the, oh, they coming, they gonna come get us, Pharaoh. Listen, man, I guess stop trying to hype me up with this shit. They gonna bring the military to Chicago and get you. All right, if the military comes to Chicago and I go outside and they tripping, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But don't be trying to hype me up over something that ain't gonna happen. They ain't sending no troops to no Chicago. They can only send troops to Washington, D.C., because D.C. is not officially a state or a city in the state. It's all federal. Washington, D.C. is federal territory. So that's why they can bring in the federal military. They can't bring in no federal military in Chicago. That'll be considered civil war. That'll be considering you using U.S. troops against U.S. citizens. And then it'll be just Vietnam. And then they'll run like they ran from Vietnam. Period. Don't come to Chicago playing with that bullshit, trying to disrespect us and our children, or none of that. If you want to help Chicago with crime, Trump send some money so we can pay for some more police. It's real simple. But don't be trying to come in here trying to stunt, trying to run up in our spot. Because we can run up in spots too. We can run up in y'all shit over there. Like all this, we somebody scary. No, that's coming on. That's coming on tonight. That ain't happened yet. I'm going to interview the brother because they saying the FBA and division and all of that with that old ass roster philosophy that's outdated and they want, you know what I'm saying? And it's an elder I got respect for, but I got to check them because they saying stuff and don't be knowing what they saying. How you a roster man and you don't know FBA mean lineage? It's just confusing. And then you see the people, these rosters, they see the people and they saying the people is beefing, but you're supposed to know that the people don't know what they doing. And you're supposed to let the people know what they doing so then they won't be doing it. So if you see people calling themselves FBA and they just beefing, you the one supposed to tell them that's not what FBA is. But you ain't supposed to take that and start saying FBA's this and FBA's that. There ain't no such thing as FBA's. So I got to talk to the brothers because these brothers call us Black Americans, and I got to let them know foundational Black Americans is Black Americans, just with foundation on the front of it. What is y'all doing? You already calling us Black Americans. Why it's a big deal? Because we put foundational in front of it. Duh. That's all foundational Black Americans is. The same thing. You've been calling us Black Americans. Just put foundational in front of it. That's it. That's all that is. And weirdos is out here trying to make it like foundational Black Americans as a group and all this stupid stuff. And you're supposed to be the elders. You're supposed to know something. And then you want to speak on that and don't call the king of the rosters for the foundation. Holler at me. And that's why I got to tell the elder. Y'all should have hollered at me before y'all even spoke on that. Because y'all Jamaicans. You Jamaicans. Then you get on here and pretend you rosters. And then you said that you don't want us to be foundational Black Americans. You want us to be Africans, but you Jamaicans. You ain't no Africans. You don't identify yourself as Africans. These rosters identify themselves based on the country they in. And then they talk that African bullshit. But they not Africans. They Jamaicans. And we're foundational Black Americans. So how could you be a Jamaican and a roster, but you telling me I can't be a foundational Black American in a roster? But he a Trinidadian in a roster. Make it make some sense. I don't understand how you tripping that we foundational Black American. You constantly waving the Jamaican flag, the Trinidadian flag, Jamaican Independence Day. All these Jamaican rosters was there. What's the difference in Jamaican Independence Day and FBA? And rosters of failed ideology anyway. It's failed because they won't update it. Ain't nobody going by that old roster bullshit. They got to update that shit. That shit old. It's outdated and it's old. That's what I'm be talking about tonight. I can give y'all a preview. It ain't just that. It's based on Africa, and Africa ain't got their shit together. So what? A million. It's 1.2 million Jamaicans. I think 2 million Jamaicans. Out of that 2 million Jamaicans, it's only so many thousand rosters, right? In America, is less rosters than that. You're talking about Africa. Africa got 1 billion people. How are we going to fix Africa? So the whole concept of going back to Africa and fixing 1 billion niggas is some bullshit. Them billion niggas got to fix themselves and then let us know, and then we'll come. This concept that we supposed to go and be thinking about Africa, the Ethiopian Federation, all that shit's bullshit. I'm not sending no money to Ethiopia. When I'm here in Chicago and we got homeless people everywhere right where I'm at. Black people in Ethiopia ain't more special than black people in Chicago, than black people in South Carolina, and black people in Mississippi. We got our own problems to deal with. What we look like caring about a place that got a billion niggas that can't do shit. It's a billion of y'all. And y'all let the Arabs control the whole North Africa. So what, you want, I'm supposed to come over there and tackle all that? With some false bullshit philosophy that was a dream in the 60s and the 70s? It was a decent dream. But now that we got knowledge, that's all it is. It's a dream. If you're a Rasta man and you putting all your knowledge and energy in Ethiopia, you're a fool. You wasting your life. I can't say this to the elder when I get him on here tonight. I got to say that in a nice way, but I do got to check his ass. And that's my brethren, and I understand, but I got to let him know I understand what you're saying, but it's old, bro. I'm sorry, I got to be the one to tell you. I understand what you're saying. I understand you an elder. I understand you was taught this Rasta philosophy, and you trying to stand on that. But that shit old, and it ain't happened in 50 years of my life. It ain't happening in your life. So why we going to push this to our youth so they can waste? You want them to wait 50, 60 years? You understand? We don't got no, you know what I'm saying? There's no way His Majesty would push no shit like that. His Majesty is highly intelligent and knows all these black people. Any fool know that can't no few black Americans and blacks from the Caribbean fix no Africa that ain't united in all them countries in Africa. Anybody know that? How you gonna fix Africa? And why is anybody talking to any of us? All the energy of uplifting black people internationally should be in Africa. Tupac ass is dead and got shot for fighting like a little bitch in the club. Why would I listen to motherfucking Tupac? Tupac dead. So I'm the man. Tupac. Why would I listen to Tupac? He got smoked at the goddamn Mike Tyson fight out there trying to fight. Tupac was a motherfucking idiot. Duh. Tupac ain't better than me. Tupac dead. Tupac not better than me. Why the fuck would I listen to Tupac? Tupac got smoked. That nigga didn't even know that if you beat up a Crip, stay low. He hanging out the window and got smoked. Tupac. Come on, man. I'm faux Pac. Get the hell out of here and tell me what Tupac said. I don't give a fuck about what Tupac said. This big Pharaoh. I don't give a fuck about what Pac said. I liked Pac like I like a lot of younger people. Pac was always younger than me. He was a little nigga. I watched him. He was never nothing to me like that. I'm the big Pharaoh. Pac is under me. Pac is younger than me. Pac is a baby. Pac was a little boy. My dreads was all the way down my back before I seen Tupac. That shit he was talking. I ain't no direct teacher of Tupac. I'm a student of Tupac. I'm a direct student of Fred Hampton. Yeah, I'm direct student of under his mama in them. Not under Tupac. I'm under his mama. It's his mama and me. And Tupac little ass. It's for Feeney and me. Feeney is over me. Feeney, then me, then little Pac. let's get that part straight. Let's get that part. Let's get that part. This big Pharaoh. This ain't little Pharaoh. This ain't young Pharaoh. This Pharaoh. Nah, Tupac. No. No, I ain't laying in the tub with no gold long paws or none of that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Tupac, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like Tupac, you know, he ain't had no daddy in his life. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? He ain't had no daddy in his life. You see what I'm saying? He ain't had no daddy. You know what I'm saying? Tupac can't tell me shit. I would have G-check Tupac. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, I would have had to check Tupac. Okay, I would have had to check Pac. All right? That's my man. That's my favorite rapper. Not my favorite person. That's just my favorite rapper. But he is short, he's younger than me. So, you know, I you know what I'm saying? I overlooked some of his stuff. But you know, Tupac was an actor because the young Tupac was all proper and spoke well and did poetry and stuff. And then he became a gangster and shit. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't outside like me in the fourth grade and the fifth grade on the block. You know what I'm saying? We was outside little. We had to turn into monsters. It wasn't by choice. We was running from gangs and stuff as little boys. But yeah, if he was my son, yeah, we would have had to have a talk. My son can't go like this. Pause. Yeah, my son, no. This is a no. So I'm saying this is a no. Yeah, this is a no. You know what I'm saying? This a no. This a no. This is my man and everything, but this a no. You know how you say somebody your favorite rapper, and then you see this picture, and you be like, "Come on, bro, you fucking up my whole thing, saying you my favorite rapper." You know what I'm saying? No, him and Puff got into it supposedly because Pac refused some of his advances. You know, you out there in Hollywood, you get in the movies, you taking pictures, you get the gay photographer. He telling you you're gonna blow. He giving you ideas. You trusting him. You know what I'm saying? Like that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people wasn't honoring his gangster. You know what I'm saying? Like that. You know what I'm saying? Tupac was definitely turning into a gangster and a thug. Okay? Like in the black community and black people, at any time, you could turn to a killer. At any time, you could turn into a thug or a killer. You don't really have to be raised one. And a lot of people don't want to tell that part, but it's definitely true. That mean vibe can come anytime. I'll be honest with you. You can grow up in a Catholic school. You could be a nice kid. You could be a regular person till you 30 years old, 40 years old, and you could turn into a demon. That's a fact. The idea that you gotta be like that from young, no. You understand? So he could be young like that, but could change. Like me, I changed. I wasn't no type of gangster. When I was young, I was in the streets, but I was still a neighborhood kid. So I could fight and all that. I was a neighborhood. I shot dice and shit like that. But I wasn't no gangster because I like to play basketball, stuff like that. I had different roles I would be in depending on where I was at. I wasn't no gangster. And then I became like a revolutionary and I was very serious. But after I got stabbed, I was definitely a gangster and a killer. And so if you met me and you tried to play with me like the one that was 30 or the one that was 20, you would have got fucked up. Because, dude, you know what I'm saying? So Tupac, being around Suge and them and seeing all them beatings and jumpings and stuff, yeah, he was. If they wouldn't have, if he wouldn't have got on the line, Tupac would have been a full-fledged gangster. There ain't no doubt about that. He was transitioning for sure. And when you transition and your mind transition and the elements around you, yeah, no doubt. Because it goes by seven. So you got 7, 14, 21, 28. You could change from 28 to 35. You could be every 7, you could be a totally different motherfucker. Don't let nobody fool you. So that Tupac, from that age to 35, yeah, after going to prison, getting shot and all that, that ain't the same goddamn Tupac. Once he got shot and went to the jail, that ain't the same Tupac. That ain't the same Tupac. Catch a bullet, you'll see, and think of you the same. I bet you don't be the same either. That was a dangerous ass Tupac. That ain't. That is not the Tupac before he got shot. You know what I'm saying? It'll change you whether you have to change or not. You will change. You get shot, you changed. First off, you never been shot before, right? So what's the difference in the one never been shot before and the one been shot? That's an automatic change. That's automatic. I give you an example. You get married. You marry a woman. She cheat on you and you get a divorce. Are you the same person? Brothers, are you the same person that married her? Hell no. You ain't nowhere close to the same person. And that's not without no physical. That's just emotional. Just you know what I'm saying? You was not the same person. You know what I mean? That's real. So I gotta be, I'm a psychiatrist by nature, and Tupac was definitely turning into a real thug, really that. Because he was turned into a revolutionary, but then he got into music in the Bay Area. And that's what stopped his revolutionary progression. He was around Digital Underground in there. So he started getting into the dancing and that artistic vibe in him. Then he started making his music. His music was real artistic. Then the drama happened. Then he got shot. Then he went to jail, which is like a prison. Rikers Island, that's prison basically. Then he gets out and he's on death row with Suge Knight. Now, people don't know what death row is like. You probably understand what I'm talking about. But I know people that know people. I ain't going to say no names. But when you went in death row, you was in death row. Death row was a Crip and Blood stronghold. So a lot of people got beat down in death row. Okay? The people that worked there was ex-cons that Suge was hiring. It was real gangsta-ass bloods in there that worked for Suge, which means the Crips had to be in there. So Big Psych and them, they wasn't playing either. It was very tense in death row. So imagine getting shot, getting locked up, and being on death row. What Suge and that was notorious for having people whooped. They had a door, you go in and they whoop you in there. Hey, listen, listen, this is me. I get stabbed. This is me. I'm on fucking dummy. I go to the county jail for 4 months. This is me. I was already a monster. 4 months in the county jail didn't monsterify me. By the time I got back out the county jail, and the only thing saved me was a woman. I met a woman, and then she had children, and then I fell in love with the woman, and then she got the children, and then she get pregnant with my baby, and so now I gotta bring it down. You know what I mean? I gotta bring it down. It was hard. So I'm like a monster that I can't display. I couldn't display it. Then I get some rappers, and they some wild street gang members. I'm trying to keep them safe. So I gotta bring it down. So now I'm this really not so nice person that have to bury all of that. So you can change a lot of ways. That's what my book is about. There ain't no one you. The baby and the lady and the young rappers. All three of them, because the young rappers, they was from 4 different gangs. I got to keep them out of trouble because we doing music. They from the streets. I could have bought 4 kilos in there and some pounds, and they would have got busy. But now I got the responsibility of keeping them focused on music. I know they mamas. I know they daddies. See what I'm saying? These is young rappers. I'm picking them up from their mama's house. Except 2 of them. 2 of them was living with their mamas. Their mamas, see what I'm saying? So I can't take your baby and get your baby in trouble. So those 3 things, that responsibility, I had to bring it down. Yeah, I had to bring it down. I had to think, period. You know what I'm saying? I had to bring it down. Because, I was in the county jail where, every morning we handing out the shanks. For real. Man, Cook County Jail, people cop out. People want to go to prison rather than stay in there. Ask somebody. People be in the county jail, they ready to go to prison. Man, people in the Cook County Jail want to go to prison. They say prison way better than the Cook County. And I'm skinny. So I had to be like, no nonsense. I had to be like, stick 'em, stick 'em, stick 'em. I couldn't be playing none. I can't beat all these big old dudes that do 1,000 push-ups and all that shit. Everybody knew, don't play me, I'm gonna hurt you. You too big. I used to tell them, man, you too big, you too big, stop playing with me. You're gonna get hurt. That's how crazy I was. I used to tell dudes, you too big and strong to be playing with me, you're gonna get hurt. How serious that sound? Imagine you was a big old strong nigga and I tell you that, bro, you too big and strong to be playing with me. Stop playing with me, you're gonna get hurt. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker. What that sound like? That don't sound like no threat. That sound like a promise. So yeah, Tupac, I know when he got shot, nah, that Tupac gone. You get shot like that on some gangster shit, on robbery like that, and then when you go to the hospital, you go to house surgery, man, that Pac is gone. The violence in the community change our babies. That's why our babies be changed. Young ladies, if your son go to school and he get jumped by 2 dudes or 3 dudes, you gotta monitor your baby. That baby that left there the day he got jumped, that baby gone. Ladies, listen to me. If you got a son and he end up getting in some physical, like gangster type stuff, where he get jumped, beat up or something, jumped by some boys like that, the son before he got jumped is gone. You have to monitor your son, because he is going to turn into a monster. Because he still got to go to school. So what he got to do? Well, he got to go in there. And he got to go. So how scared could he be? So he got to get over being scared. And it's only one way to get over being scared, is to become a problem. He can't go neutral. He got to go from scared to a problem. And that's where you got to watch your baby, because your baby going to go to prison. Your baby going to go to prison. Your baby gone. That's not your baby no more. So now you got to watch him. Now you got to talk to him. You know what I'm saying? You got to accept his change. You got to start treating him more like a man. So I would advise you, ladies, if that happened, right away, take your baby. The only way you can offshoot him, getting a pistol or something, or a knife, take him and put him in some martial art classes right away, and you can save your baby. That's the only thing going to stop him from going too far, because he going to think weapons first. He going to think weapons. He going to sneak your knife out, or he going to sneak your gun out your purse, or he going to buy a gun. He going to get some money. I'm telling you, he going to buy a gun. The only way you could fix that is to take him put him in some type of martial arts. He don't got to stay there long. He just got to stay there long enough to whoop them kids up at that school, and then monitor him and see what's going on with the school, because they'll hurt him too. They'll shoot him too. Now you got to make a serious decision. Is your baby in a gang type situation, or is this just a bully type situation? If it's a bully type situation, the martial arts stuff will fix that. If it's a gang infest, if your neighborhood got gangs, if you want to save them, you might have to send them to another school. Or you're going to have to get somebody that's like a gang like motherfucker to deal with it, like me. Because when I was in O Block and my stepchildren had problems, I went outside and threatened the kids, the daddies, and everybody. But I wasn't on no parent shit. I went out on some gangster shit. If I come back out here, I can't even tell you what I said. They said, these kids. I said, I don't give a damn if it's a fetus. That's how ugly it got. I ain't kidding. I went out there and said something I can't even say on social media. I threatened everybody. If I come back outside, it's going to go all the way down. Everybody out here. You know what I'm saying? I swear to God. They was like, damn, Ja Rule, but these kids. I said, I don't give a goddamn if it's a fetus. Don't let me have to come back out here. And they didn't let me have to come back out there either. Yeah, they said, oh, we don't want him to come back out. He's not playing. I wasn't playing. I was ready right then, actually. You know what I'm saying? And I'm out and I'm fighting a case. Was I fighting or just beat the case? I'll be either fighting the case or I'm on probation. So I'm all out of pocket. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here looking at 15 years. You know what I'm saying? But you messing with the children, my children. You were messing with my queen children, them like my children. You messing with the fort, like where we live at. You causing problems in the kingdom. And now the king gotta come outside. You causing problems. If you upset the children, you upset the queen, the children, then the queen, then I'm on 1,000. You got to break with a man if you could just upset him. But if you upset his queen, he's madder than he would be by himself. We get madder if the queen is upset than if it's just us. We able to kind of, all right. But if the queen get upset, we get extremely angry. It's just nature. You done really messed up if you didn't piss off. Just, no matter what the situation. Even with the kids, we used to be messing up the house and stuff, and my dad be like, y'all stop. And my mama come home and start hollering at us, and then he start hollering. Now, he wasn't hollering at first, but when his wife get upset to hear, then there he go to there. We looking at him like, Daddy, you phony as hell. No, he wasn't phony. It's just nature. His wife mad now. So now he pissed. The Tupac, that's my man, you know what I mean? But he was caught in between different lives and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Tupac, was in Hollywood and he had too many different influences and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Nobody really showed him how to stay out the way. You know? If he could have stayed out the way, he could have possibly still been here. Suge showed him to go get in the way. He wanted Death Row to be seen out in the world. Even naming it Death Row, he was on that dark type of time. You know what I'm saying? Messed himself up. You know what I mean? He was young too. And same thing with Suge. People talking about Suge ain't like that. Suge a football player. No, Suge was like that. That football player Suge been gone. People think that they could just lock you to a certain type of person. That's not true. That woman could change. That ain't the same woman. And a lot of people don't understand that. They want to look at you in one period of life and say, that's still you. That's not you. That's not you. That's not you at all. You change. You're not that same person. That's why I never treat a brother based on what he was like when he was a kid. Man, that's a grown ass man. That ain't dude. I can't treat you based on how you was in high school or in college. Boy, that don't go like that. You know what I'm saying? People need to, man, that do not go like that. You don't even know dude no more. You went to college with him, but you don't know him. If you ain't seen him in 4 or 5 years, you don't know dude. Bro, that was sophomore year. That man ain't like that, like nothing like that. Tupac wasn't playing. Tupac was really going to be a blood. He wasn't playing. People that be gangs ain't no different than people that become gangs. And some people think that. Some people think Tupac was playing blood. No. Before he got shot, Tupac was a blood. Once Suge went and got him and took him to that blood headquarters, right after he got shot, he just got out of Rikers Island, yeah, he was a blood. The Rikers Island, when he go to Rikers, first he gets shot. Once he go through that surgery, that's a different Tupac. Which one of y'all believe you can go to Rikers Island and come out the same person? Anybody believe that you can go to Rikers Island and when you come out, you're going to be the same? Who believe that? Anybody ever been locked up? Do you know between the time you get arrested and the time you get processed and taken to where your cell is, do you know how much you've changed? Do y'all have any idea how much you changed between the point where the police pulled you over and arrested you, took you to the regular jail, shipped you to the county jail, and found you a deck to put you on? In a city like New York and Chicago and LA? Do you know how much you change? Boy, you better change. Who believe you can go in there? Boy, listen. That's the experience you don't want to experience. You cannot be the same person. You already see when you like, oh boy, here I go. You know what I'm saying? You cannot be the same person. Matter of fact, at the county, when they first take you to the county jail and they put you in the bullpen with 25 or 30 dudes, you better change right there. You better figure it out. I ain't never been to prison either. You ever been to the county jail though? Where you live at, Mikey? You live in a big city? You ever been to because I got locked up in a glass house in LA for selling incense. A lot of people don't know. You can go to the county jail for bullshit. You don't got to be doing no crimes. I went to the county jail in LA for selling incense. These are facts. Alabama DOC, it ain't no joke. Would you tell them? And you got to change, Michael, when you go. It changed you, don't it? Your whole aura, you like, oh boy. Because you in there with like a bunch of, man, you in there with a bunch of losers, a bunch of hardened criminals. You in there with a variety of people. Many of them are very dangerous and very aggressive. People, you in there with people you never hang around. You never hang around these type of people. So you put in an environment that you won't put yourself in. You don't go around this, you know what I'm saying? Hey, what you tell them, Michael? You don't go in these type of environments. So even if you a civilian, you have to change and then change back when you get out. But you be like, oh boy. Your man be like, oh boy. Oh boy. I mean, once they processed me and took me to the county jail, they give you your stuff. They give me a toothbrush. I was scraping my toothbrush down already. I had a point on my toothbrush before I even got to before I got to my cell. When I walked in my cell, it was two dudes there. I had a toothbrush sharpened. Facts. If anybody in that cell would have said anything that would have got poked, that first 2 minutes, so a minute, however long it would have took you to act up, you would have got shanked immediately. Because I already had it in my hand and it was sharp in the mud. Because in the little holding cell they had me and I was filing it down. I was like, oh, here we go. I walked in there, but they was cool. And I was thinking, lucky, good thing for y'all. Because they was going to underestimate me anyway, because I'm on the new. So I had the ups. Any little thing could be a big deal in jail if you're around the wrong people. And then a lot of black men, they just could look at you and don't like you. So you can have dudes, they just don't like you. You know what I mean? It's all defense because you're concerned about what could be done to you. Exactly. Not only because you're concerned what could be done to you, you're around negative energy. You're not making your choice who you want to be around. You're forced to be around people that you would not be around. And in Chicago, you is around the most dangerous people in Illinois. You are in Cook County Jail. It's 4,675. It's almost 5,000 men locked up in there in Cook County Jail. Almost 5,000 locked up. You know what I'm saying? On top of that, I was already a demon. I was in there. I wasn't in there for being a nice guy. I was a drug dealer. So I was already dark. I was already with the bullshit. So it wasn't like I was, you know what I'm saying? So for me, it's different because I already had a lot of guns on me, and I was already, the police said I was armed and extremely dangerous. So I was already extremely dangerous when I went. I was already mean. I was already mean and a possible killer when I went in there. But I had been going to jail since I was a shorty under white supremacy. They was taking me to jail as a kid. You know, weed was illegal. They catch you with a joint. They used to go to jail. So I had already been going to jail since I was like 18 in Chicago. I've been in every jail. I've been in so many jails in Chicago for like a joint, a dime bag. So I had already had a certain, energy for jail anyway. But when I went to jail in 1997, things was more. It wasn't like when I went to jail in the late 70s and early 80s. It's a big difference between late 70s and early 80s and like 97. It was a different element. So when I went to jail in 97, it was about as bad as it could get. Well, it's worse now, though. It's even worse now. Because now they'll knock you out and spit in your butt. Now, here in Chicago and in LA, they'll put peanut butter in your butt. They'll knock you out and put peanut butter in your butt. Knock you out. Chicago, they'll knock you out and spit in your butt. You know what I'm saying? I think about that. That's today what the shorties in there today doing. They weren't doing that when I was in there. Now you think about the animalistic vibe to do that. To knock you out and pull your pants over and spit in your butt. What that sound like? You know how many regular citizens don't know that those type of people is walking around out here? You understand? That's the type of people walking around out here. So when you see that in there and then you outside, how you think I be when I'm outside when I know that's the type of that they outside? You see what I'm saying? That them type of people is free, made by, got case, been to the joining now. They outside. A lot of them, they wives and girlfriends don't know they like that. It's all he, you know what I'm saying? People don't know he like that. It's like a whole different thing. And then I was in a leadership role, so I got to keep these. That's what I got to keep in line. Like I end up being in like a leadership role, like with the vice lords, and these are people I got to keep in line. These folk on us and all these vice lords, everybody on the fin ball, basically. You got to keep order. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they'll throw you down the stairs with Joe. they'll do you dirty. You gotta be nice to the guards. You don't talk crazy to the guards. You always be nice to the guards. You don't disrespect the guards. Why would you disrespect the guards when they got the power to handcuff you and do whatever? It's gangster stuff. You trying to make allies. You're not trying to make enemies. You're trying to make friends with the guards so they'll bring you in some chicken or bring you in some, they bring me in a cheese pizza. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't eat meat in there. But if I be nice with the guards, they might bring me in some fries and a Coke. They might bring me in some cheese pizza. You understand? You got to learn diplomacy. It's like you a boss and the guard is a boss and y'all talk as bosses. But if you disrespect the guard, he don't look at you as a boss. He look at you as a peon prisoner. So you got to talk to the guard like a boss. And you got to be like men of honor. If you're talking crazy, that ain't showing no rank or file. Now, when you talk to the guard like a boss and you show respect for the guard have respect for you and fear for you because now you showing that things can happen to the guard in there if you say so. So the same way the guard could do something to me, I could give the word and the guard could get poked up too. You understand? So when you on that same level of power, you ain't acting like that. You a boss in here. You ain't acting crazy and stuff like that. You ain't, on my deck, you disrespecting the God, we're going to whoop you for that. We ain't going to tell you once, shut up, man. Don't talk to the God. Don't talk to him like that. Like, I'm going to give you a violation if you're antagonizing the guards. Because the guards be black brothers and black sisters, they at work. They just at work, bro. Leave them alone. They just at work. They never do their job. If a guard come in there and he disrespectful, he wow, I'm gonna go to the Sarge. Sarge, dude tripping down here. Sarge gonna move you. See, you gotta have diplomacy. I'm gonna go to the sergeant, tell him the guy working in there upsetting the guys, doing goofy shit. The sergeant gonna come and say, "What is you doing down here?" And he gonna say, "Leave." He gonna send somebody else. Cause I got a white dude out there. He come talking to us crazy. Some white supremacists try to come in here. This Chicago, where you from? Kentucky or some fool? What's wrong with you? I went and told Sarge, come get this dude out of here. He in here talking us crazy. He got him out of there. I mean, in prison you could be food. In the county jail, it depends on the deck you own, DJ. It depends on the deck you own. County jail is not like prison. It's bad, but it's not prison. And so in the county jail, people have the opportunity to go home so they're not jumping out the window. See, in prison, you're looking at 10, you're looking at 20. There is no hope. In the county jail, there's hope every time you go to trial. Every time you go to court, your case could get thrown out. So people ain't crashing out in the county jail too bad because it's a revolving door. Nobody's in there that long. Nobody's in the county jail that long. I was in there 4 months. By the time I was in there, like 6 weeks, everybody that was in there when I came in there was gone already. It was a whole new group. Because it's a revolving door in the county jail. The people get the county jail mixed up with prison. The county jail is a revolving door. People bail out, cases get dismissed, and people get sent to prison. So everybody's not acting like a prison is not like prison. They don't act like prison. Nobody that's fighting a case want to catch a case. Nobody want to commit a murder in there and catch a case when you just in the county jail to beat the case. So it's not really that serious. You're not trying to catch no 7 years before you even beat your case. Because you're going to get 7 years in there messing around before you even. So imagine that. If you imagine I get 7 years and then I go to trial for my original case and the judge found out I got 7 years in acting a fool and the max on my other case 15, he could probably give me the whole 15. If you don't run them consecutively, I'm looking at 22 now. When if I would have behaved myself, the judge might not even gave me the 15. He might only gave me 3. But I'm acting a fool. I got 7 in here and 15. Acting no damn fool. So nobody not jumping out the window in the county jail. A couple of them, but they got mental issues. But most of them gonna be over in Division 2 where the murderers at. See, if they lock you up with your kind, so you ain't gonna necessarily be in Division 2 with the murderers. You ain't gonna be over there with them. Me right now, I'm gonna be with the old dudes. They gonna send me with the old dudes anyway. They ain't gonna send me. They ain't gonna even send me with no young mo. They gonna send me when I get on my deck. They in there drinking Kool-Aid, playing checkers and chess. They ain't on nothing. They gonna put me with the old timers. Maybe if they got room. Most likely. If they take me in there, I go in the county jail. No matter what deck I'm on, they're going to open the doors. They're going to say, on the new, when I'm going to come in. They're going to run up on me and they're going to say, what you is? Basically. That's what they're going to ask me. What you is? As soon as I come in. It'll be like, I'm off count. Off count for what, OG? All right. All right, solid. It's one of your guys. I'm going to go over there with the foes and the vice lords. I'll be all right. But you ain't me, so stay out of trouble. You're not Big Pharaoh. You know, Big Pharaoh is Big Pharaoh. I'm going to be good. I'm going to automatically be with the guys immediately. And I'm going to be the OG, and I'm going to be off limits. But I ain't going. But if I did go for some bullshit cop, I'll be good. And it would be for some bullshit, hopefully. So I'll bail out. Because I ain't doing nothing. I ain't doing nothing to be in jail like that. So I can't get no time anyway. You can't get no time if you ain't doing nothing. If you ain't doing nothing, they take you to jail, you coming home anyway. You got to be out here doing something. And I ain't doing nothing to even go to the county jail. I'm retired. All right, so we're going to end this. We always have more than what we be originally talking about, but I think that's good. I like when we get off subject at the end instead of ending the live it makes the lives a lot more interesting because you can learn a lot of different stuff other than what we said at the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Hope y'all learn some, stay positive. And FBA, try to focus on reparations and stay out the beefs as much as you can. But the tension between FBA and the other blacks is a little bit needed in order to establish what we're trying to do. Uh, the separation is definitely needed. That doesn't mean we're really separated as far as dealing with each other. It's just separation as far as identification, as far as identifying each other. It's very much important that Black Americans be identified as foundational Black Americans. And I'm going to be talking about that with the roster brethren tonight because they don't understand that in terms of services, as in terms of counting our tax dollars, we want to be separated. We want our taxes, we don't want our taxes mixed with everybody because you get your services based on what your input is. And if they just input black, then they're going to be throwing in our accomplishments with Africans and everybody else. We don't want that. Let them have their own category. We don't want to be category with them when it comes to the federal government, the state and local government. And people don't understand this. This has everything to do with housing, taxes, and all that. We don't want nobody to come from Africa and get credit for the amount of taxes we've been paying before they got here. Categorize them separately and deal with all their statistics as immigrants separately. Don't be letting them take advantage of everything we built up. We got more equity than them. At what point do you let somebody that didn't put the work in the country get the same amount of equity you got? You don't do that in no other businesses. Foundational Black Americans, we got more equity than Black immigrants. They shouldn't get the same treatment like we get. That can't happen. They have to be treated like people that just got here and get whatever people that just got here get. They can't lay up under black and get all of our benefits that we've been here working for 400 years. And then you come in from, East Africa somewhere and the Caribbean and getting benefits that we supposed to get. No, hell no. Talking about you black. No. You need to be identified as something different. You not me. Not when you talk about civilly. When you talk about civilly, when you talk about citywide and state and government, no. I don't want to be categorized with you. I want to be categorized as a foundational Black America. We want all our money counted separately. How much taxes have we paid? We don't want your money mixed in with it. We don't want your statistics mixed in with our statistics. We don't want that. That's what I got to tell these rosters. I don't want no Jamaican statistics mixed in with my statistics. Separate us in the census and everything. When you take the census of who's who. Not no black. Because that's the way we get cheated. You know what I mean? That we get cheated like that. No, you can't come here and be black. Okay? We're foundational Black Americans. And then you could be other. And then you get whatever other get. But we do not want, because if we'll have some Nigerian come over here that hate us but then pretend he us when he filling out government forms and put down black and don't even mess with us. We got too many Africans over here that don't mess with us, that's getting our benefits. And we sick of that shit. Stop giving them our benefits. They come over here, Asians and stuff come over here, they don't have to pay no taxes for 7 years. Then they can give the business to a cousin and he don't have to pay for 7 years. We don't got that benefit. Which is one of the things should be a part of reparations. We shouldn't have to pay taxes for 7 years. You let all the other people do it. We not white Americans. All black, foundational black Americans should have a 7-year period where we don't have to pay taxes just like all these other people. But we can keep our money so we can build up. So when our reparations end, we don't want to pay taxes because they'll give us reparations and tax it. We're going to be talking about that this evening, though. I'm going to get the elder brother over there and get him straight. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to get a lot of black Americans, because I had young black Americans say, I can't be no comedic roster. I can't be foundational black American and no comedic roster because they don't know what the hell a foundational black American is. A foundational black American has nothing to do with what I identify myself with. It has everything to do with where I was born at and where my family from. That's it. And what I choose to identify myself in ancient times ain't got nothing to do with what my relatives went through in the 1800s, 1897, 1880. Those are two different conversations. If my people was here in the 1800s and picked cotton, then I'm owed reparations. If I want to say them people originally was Egyptians, that ain't got nothing to do with them being here still picking cotton. You still got to give me my reparations. Some people slow. Because just because I'm saying I'm foundational black American, that don't mean that's where my lineage go back past the foundational black American lineage. The foundational black American lineage is a 400-year lineage. It don't speak for 500, 600, 700, 800 years ago. That's on you to pick that part of your lineage. A lot of people don't understand that. That's up to you. If you want to say you a Native American, that's up to you. That has nothing to do with when we were slaves and who was slaves. Because all these various black people were slaves. The black Native Americans were slaves. The black Africans were slaves. Any black person that they caught was a slave. They didn't only just enslave one particular type of black person from one particular region. If you were black, you didn't have any rights, period, based on the color of your skin. No coloreds. Duh. So we're going to get that straight because I got a lot of FBAs arguing over that. Arguing over stuff that ain't got nothing to do with reparations. Just because I say I'm comedic, that ain't got nothing to do with my family picking cotton. What are you talking about? Because I had somebody say, well, how you comedic and FBA? That don't make no sense. I said, that's because you stupid. You don't know what FBA is. Our history don't start at slavery. We getting reparations based on slavery. Reparations ain't our history. Our history ain't no being no slaves. Now, when you talk about our history before we slavery, then let's have that conversation. You understand? Because many of us was different stuff. Many of us different stuff. Many of us was Asiatic black men. See, they don't understand black people was all over the place. See what I'm saying? That's why It's a reason certain brothers, naturally, they lead towards Islam. You know why? Because they bloodline, they Asiatic black men. Some brothers lean towards Israel. That's because they're ancient Hebrew Israelites. Some brothers lean towards Kemet. That's because they're ancient Kemetic. We was all over the place. So it's ridiculous arguing with a brother because he's a Muslim when that's where his soul is at. The brother's soul, that's why he picked that. You're not just picking nothing. You picking what's in your soul. So if you like that moon and star, that's your stuff. That's why you like it. You don't just like it for nothing. You ain't just you. You was an Asiatic black man. But people don't understand that black people was in a lot of places. So you argue which place a people was that ran the earth. You ran the earth. You was all over the earth. You got all different type of people. Here you are, Hebrew Israelite, trying to tell an Asiatic black man you need to be a Hebrew Israelite. Bro, you sound crazy. The Bible show you everybody black wasn't no Hebrew Israelite. Joseph was right there sitting next to Pharaoh. One was Kemetic, one was a Hebrew. What are we talking about? It's right there in the Bible. On top of that, Ishmael, mama was Egyptian. So Ishmael was an Asiatic black man. So now Ishmael mama and people was from Kemet. And so when the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob went to Kemet, they was in the same place where Ishmael mama was from. But nobody talk about that. The founders of what you call Hebrew Israelites, when they ended up in Egypt, they ended up in the same place where Ishmael mama was from. So now the question is, did they bump into the rest of the family? When they got there, I bet they did. I bet you. When the Hebrew Israelites went to Kemet, I bet you they found that woman's family. I bet you. I bet you they found Ishmael mama's family. I bet you anything. Y'all know how black people is. Am I right, Azim? If them black people ended up in Egypt and they know they half brother Ishmael mama was from there, you know black folks looked them up. Nobody talk about that. I bet you anything they found Ishmael mama's relatives. I bet you anything. Especially Jacob. Because that was Jacob's granddaddy that slept with that woman. Yep, Ishmael, Isaac are brothers. Exactly. And Isaac had Jacob. And Jacob was Israel, and he went. So Ishmael was his daddy's brother, his uncle, right? Right? Ishmael was Ishmael was Jacob's uncle. If I'm not mistaken. Nobody talk about that. You know, doggone well that man looked for his uncle. Nobody talk about that, do they, Isaiah? They so busy hating and looking for division, they ain't looking for the links. It ain't no way Jacob went there to see Joseph and didn't look for his uncle. It ain't no way. It ain't no way he went there and didn't look for his uncle and look for his uncle's mother's relatives. It's not no way Jacob didn't do that. It's that black people, that's the first thing they gonna do. He gonna be like, my uncle mama from here. Her name so-and-so, so-and-so. He gonna ask about that family. Nobody wrote about the connection that family got reconnected. I guarantee you that family got reconnected. These is black people, ain't they, Isaiah? They gonna ask, ain't they? It ain't no way. There ain't no way Jacob went there and didn't look for his uncle's family on his mother's side. It ain't no way. He went there, and when he met the Pharaoh and found out that the Pharaoh's best friend was Joseph and Joseph was his son, he was like, we got family here. That's how black folks is. Oh, yeah, the Pharaoh like, oh, yeah, you got family. Yeah, Hezekiah and so-and-so. My granddaddy was with so-and-so. And yeah, Ishmael. Ishmael been down here? They like, yeah, Ishmael been down there. Hey, Isaiah, didn't Ishmael go to Egypt? If his mom was from Egypt, did not Ishmael go through Egypt, where his mama was from? Where's that story? Because when Abraham put out Ishmael and his mama probably went right to Egypt, where she was from. And so when they got down there, they was down there. Their family was down there. Ishmael's family was there. And it ain't no way they didn't look for Ishmael's family. Another black secret that they don't want us to look into. And you would think that Muslims and Hebrew Israelites would have looked into that. They would have, I don't know, see, we'd be so busy hating that the black Muslims and the black Hebrew Israelites should be looking into that. They're going to find out that their religions is relatives. Black people be hating their own people. Think about it. If they is brothers, then Hebrew Israelite and Muslims is brothers, is relatives. The founders of both of the religions is relatives. Basically, I don't see how it's not. They know, well, I don't know why it seemed to me that would be exciting. I would be trying to find the connection. If we love knowledge, to me, I bet you if I told Dr. Ben this, he would go find out. He would have went and find out. Dr. Ben would have been Dr. Ben's ears would have stood up. Oh, I never thought to look into that. He would have went crazy. Although Dr. Ben might have knew. Dr. Ben probably knew that, just didn't ever think about to mention it in his lectures. And so people arguing over like the religions from the same doggone family. That'd be crazy. That's why I don't be arguing with brothers, all the different religious brothers. We all one. I don't do that. I don't do that. They all know, huh? But they won't say nothing, huh? So they keeping the division on purpose. The younger people coming up, some of them know it too, but they don't want to say what I'm saying, huh? Because I just thought about it. Oh, I would have been saying something. Y'all know me. I would have told. I just thought about it. I just thought about this like a couple months ago. It hit me. I didn't never think about it all these years that they end up in Egypt where Ishmael mama was from. Somebody buried. That's a story. I bet you that's a story somebody buried. Let me look it up. Based on the biblical narrative, there's no specific account of the family of Jacob meeting the family of Ishmael in Egypt. See what I'm talking about? Boy, I'm finna start something. Am I finna start something? I see I'm finna start something. Am I finna start something? I think I'm finna start something. So it ain't no, so it ain't no, mention of that. Interesting. It ain't no mention of that. Y'all don't think that's weird? Nobody never thought about it. Man, Dr. Ben would have found out. That's the only person. Diops might have found out too. Diops might have found out. Them the only two I think that would have tried to find out. See, these people have hidden. They have hidden books. These people have hidden knowledge because I know for sure them people. Maybe it just wasn't a story nobody documented at the time. It was ancient times. They didn't write down everything. Maybe they never thought to write that down. But it ain't no way. If you know black families, it ain't no way. They didn't go down there and find their relatives. It ain't no way. It ain't no way Jacob didn't go down there and find his brother's relatives. Ain't no way. Oh, because that's Isaac's brother, which would be Jacob's uncle, half uncle. It ain't no way he didn't go try to find where his uncle, where his half uncle was at, where his daddy's son's people was at, his granddaddy's son. Ain't no way. Anyway, that's deep right there. We'll be here all night with me. My mind be spinning. My mind be spinning. Let me go. That's how I be learning stuff. Cause my mind be spinning. I be thinking about stuff like that, and I'll be up all night trying to find information on that. It say it ain't no mention of it in the Bible, but I bet it's a mention of it somewhere. Y'all stay positive. You know what I'm saying? Positive energy all the time. That's what we do. Support the channel.